right, here we go. Bricc Baby, welcome to VladTV.
Yo.
Long time coming.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Special day for me, man.
That's what's up, man. You know, I've been seeing you on No Jumper over and over again, and one day I was like, wait a minute, how come I haven't interviewed Bricc Baby? So I hit up Adam. I think he'd be down to do it. He's like, oh, hell yeah.
Definitely. Big fan.
Thank you.
Always followed your crowd. I mean, you have no choice but to be a Vlad fan. Some of the best hip-hop content that's ever hit the streets, so I'm blessed to be here.
Thank you.
Honored.
And congrats on really kind of finding your space in media, which is not easy to do.
At all.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that you're saying that I found my space because I'm still scrambling, so I'm making it look good. Yeah. I'm coming from yelling in my phone on Instagram, going viral, to like, okay, you got to have substance in your conversation now. You got to have topics. You can't get off topic. No interrupting. Like, I'm all right, cool. But I'm here.
That's what it is. All right, first time here. Let's start at the beginning. So you grew up in South Central?
Yes, I did. I grew up like split between the Crenshaw and Jefferson area and the Crenshaw and Slauson area.
Okay, and your family were all hustlers?
For sure.
Okay, so do you know kind of where it started originally?
Just, I guess, as far as where they started hustling, or like as far back as I can remember?
Well, no, in terms of like the gang thing, you know, because Crippin' obviously originated in that area. Yeah. So were they always like gang related, or?
My family, not, my mom and them is hustlers. They not gang related. Okay. So my mom was born in '58. So my bad, mom. Don't beat me up. So, but my mom was born in '58. So gangbanging started in the 1960s a little bit, but everybody wasn't down with the gangbang bully. And a lot of people looked at it as like loser time. You know what I'm saying? My mom and them, they come strictly from like church households, that the violent stuff, but they also come from poverty. So they had to find a way out. I want to say my mom started with fraud and then bumped it up. Like fresh out of high school, I feel like she started with fraud, not boosting, but fraud, and it led to her going out of town and starting her journey.
Okay, what about your dad?
My dad, I feel like my dad was a hustler from day one. All his stories just come from, he's from like the Vermont Square area. I guess when the Slauson boys and all that came about, he was around for that. But they always been hustling, like my uncles, all my dad's friends and stuff. They had the Brett Mitchell Chevrolet in Compton at one point, and that was my family's car dealership. And they shut it down. They were the youngest black car dealership owners. They shut it down because of, I want to say, tax evasion. I think they was letting the dope boys come through and cash out without writing the IRS and stuff.
Okay. And you talked about how a couple of your aunts were actually addicted to crack.
Yeah.
You actually got to see that firsthand?
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So it was like half my family was hustlers and half my family was users. And then some of them was hustlers and users. But yeah, I grew up it was like a nice crack house, but like it was wild at my grandma's house. Like, you know what I'm saying? My grandma didn't do drugs. My grandpa did. He did drugs with his kid.
Wow.
But I mean, like in the late 80s and early 90s, I don't know, drugs were like, the crack took over. I don't even think the people were in their body. I think it was just like crack rock. You get what I'm saying? Because it's like my grandpa, once the drugs left, like once he stopped doing drugs, he started back acting like a grandfather. You get what I'm saying? But like, if y'all all indulging in the same thing and it's in the house, I guess everybody gets out. It's just like weed now. I guess crack rock wasn't regulated in the 80s. Then when it started being frowned down on, some people couldn't kick the habit. So it was recreational, I feel like. But yeah, I used to have to go get my aunties out of crack houses, all type of stuff. Like one day, my auntie, we was all looking for my auntie. She was gone for like 10 days. And me and her daughter just decided we about to ride our bikes over there. We know where she at. We about to just go over there and tell them like, she got to come out that house. So we all go over there. We like maybe 7, 8. I know I was like 7, and we go and knock on the door. We talking to the dope man like, bitch ass nigga, get my auntie out the house, you motherfucker. Like, and they looking at little kids, and she like, y'all go. Like, we ain't going nowhere. We start throwing rocks at the house and stuff, and she came running out. We got her back to the house and stuff.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I have crack addicts in my family, and it's just a bad way to be.
Yeah.
Especially when you have kids.
Yeah, because, yeah. That shit is like controlling.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry you had to go through that.
Yeah.
So, you're growing up in South Central, and cripping is becoming a serious thing out there. Like, at what point did you join?
I feel like I was a Crip at like 8 years old. I ain't had no other choice, like, when it came to gangbanging. I feel like Snoop and the dog pound wave was definitely present in my upbringing, like, even from home. Like, I grew up in 2 Crip hoods. My dad had a spot, had like he lived there, but it was like a, live, work, play. It was a dope spot too. But we was in the jungles. I don't know if you hip to where the jungles is, and to the people, it's Baldwin Village, like L.A., in between the Crenshaw. It sits on the Crenshaw corridor also, but from training day.
It's like Inglewood, right?
It's before Inglewood.
Okay.
It's like L.A. It's like right over the hill from Inglewood.
So it's close to Inglewood.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, but so I do have like a lot of friends that are affiliates over there, but even when I was over there, I got like a gang of blood friends that I grew up with too, cause just being at my dad's house and like ever since 9 years old, they was like, you gonna be a Crip. You not gonna be from over here. Like, yeah, I'm not. So probably like 10 years old is my first time tagging on the wall, and we started some shit called Inglewood, California Crip. Me and my best friend, Infilo, he from West Boulevard now, and his uncle had just came home from like a 10-year bid. So he like big as Tookie, got the blue rag. He boy with the blue rag around his neck every morning in the backyard, pumping iron and stuff. Like, this is like our action figure. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, we looking up to Uncle Mike. Rest in peace, Uncle Mike, Big M. We looking up to him. So we go home, we gonna be from Inglewood, California Crip. So we get sidewalk chalk, go to school the next day with the sidewalk chalk. We hitting up with the sidewalk chalk ICC. And I feel like from there, my cousins and stuff, from there I joined a clique called CIP, and it was Completely Irresistible Players.
Okay.
So, but we was in the West Boulevard area, and as we start getting older, like from 10 to 12, not like it was just a big jump, but like from 10 to 12, we inherited beef from the Blackstones. Damn near everybody that the West Boulevards was beefing with, we end up beefing with, and more, because we were at different schools. So we was like at West LA beefing and stuff, and the police end up documenting this in the gang files as Crips in Progress. CIP. So they changed it from Completely Irresistible Players to Crips in Progress because we was getting into so much shit in the area. So that was really my introduction. And when Big Money, Uncle Mike, found out we was from a clique, my best friend was never from a clique because that's his real uncle. So he was always, after ICC, it was just West Boulevard for him. You know what I mean? He found out we all was from this clique, and he came over there tripping one day. He like, y'all niggas gonna be from the hood. There ain't no extra hoods inside the hood. Nigga, all y'all gonna turn the hood. And he got into it with one of my closest homies and smacked the shit out of him. Like, he was bullying. Like, this is a big buff grown man. He came over there tripping on this one day. Like, I ain't having it. Like, y'all either gonna turn West Boulevard today or this shit over. So we stood our ground though. Like, I don't want to tell the whole story, but the homie ended up having to go to the hospital with a broke arm or something like that. We stood our ground though, my big uncle, right? So after that, I'm like, I ain't finna be from West Boulevard because he trying to make me. You know, I was rebellious back then. So I started hanging with the Harlem 30s at like 12. And we still was from CIP. It was like, and the 30s at the time was beefing with the Rolling 40s. So the 40s and 60s was the same thing, and all my other cousins is like, my mom always had a house nearby Slauson, and all my cousins lived on Slauson. So I think it was like one too many events with me in the 40s, and I wasn't really put on to the 30s yet. And my cousin, like, either you get put on and you handle your business and you stay over there, because I used to call my it's second nature, like, hey, cuz I'm in the mix, like shit, come get me. Like, ain't no come help me, like I just did this. Like I don't got no ride though, I'm on the bus. Like, they like, man, like, who you do it to? And I'm like, man, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't gonna talk too much, but you know what I'm saying, they like, you can't keep bumping heads with the 40s like that and think that we gonna participate. And like, where the rest of your family at over here in the Harlems? And then they just start dawning on me like, you right, I don't got no backbone over here, I ain't tripping. But you know what I'm saying? I end up getting put on 60s like my 14th summer.
Okay, you were 14.
Yeah, but I always was affiliated. Like, in between ICC and all that, like, I always bang rolling 60s. Like, we was hood hopping. We'd just say whatever hood we wanted to say when we was 10 years old. But I've always been a Crip.
Okay. You jumped in?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I've heard different versions of this situation. Sometimes it's an easy situation, or sometimes people get really hurt.
All right, I'm gonna tell you. There be some dudes, right, that they family. They run the hood, got a big family from the hood, and they born into the hood. Like, you get what I'm saying? I feel like that kind of hinders somebody's gangbang career in the streets, because it's not DIY. You get what I'm saying? You ain't doing it yourself. Like, me, I'm first generation, and I'm the only generation. I don't plan on my sons and them gangbanging. But, like, I'm first generation, so when I hopped off the porch, you really gotta hit those brick walls yourself. You got people telling you, hey, don't do this, don't do that, but it's like, well, your family from the hood is like, oh yeah, my son ain't doing that. Oh yeah, he can't do that. You get what I'm saying? So it hinders that walk-on stuff. It hinders how certain homies in the hood. It's certain people that was raised in the hood that really got put on and really do their stuff, but like, it'd be like somebody like me or somebody that was raised in the hood really doing their stuff, and you see like they get to cut corners and you kind of like stop fucking with them. Like, you know what I'm saying? When you're like, nah, he don't got to do what we got to do. We ain't messing with him. So yeah, I got jumped on. It's better to get jumped on, because when it come down to politic and it's like, nigga, you never got your put on. You get what I'm saying? Like, let's just go ahead and get that out the way off the rip. But
okay.
Yeah.
So now you're a rolling 60s official.
For sure.
Did you know Big U during that time?
Big U he did that stretch when I first got
you're right.
put
Yeah,
on.
he was locked up for a while.
I met Big U in like 07, 08.
Later on.
Yeah.
Okay, what was your original street name?
My original street name?
Yeah.
When I first got put on?
Yeah.
It was Baby Wild Bill.
Baby Wild Bill.
Yeah, I was Wild Bill from the Overhills. Yep, I got put on at 14. F-Dog was my big homie. My big homie F-Dog. I want to say Lil F. Oh, my bad, F. But it's either Big F or Lil F. I think he Lil F-Dog, though. But that was my big homie. I got put on. I was supposed to, this the funny part. I was supposed to be from 10th Avenue. I was supposed to be from down the hill. I lived on Overhill, but I always, like, I had this one homie named S-Dome that loved me to death. And he, once he seen that I wasn't from Harlem no more, he like, man, you gonna be Baby S-Dome, you gonna be Baby S-Dome. But what he used to do, it was like how I said with those kids that was protected. What he used to do is, when it's time for me to get put on and fight, like, my little homie ain't doing that. Like, we ain't doing that, da-da-da. And he used to try to speak up for me. And so I'm like, I gotta get put on. You know what I'm saying? I'm just living like that. Like, I can't keep taking this pass like that. So, but I'm walking down the hill one day, and Hillbilly pull up on me, and my boy Izzy was supposed to get put on that day. He did, but then he ended up being from East Coast. They pull up on me, and me and Izzy were in high school together, so he told on me to the dude that was driving the car, like, you know him? Like, he ain't really from 60s yet. I got a big S hat on. I'm walking down Slauson. I'm headed from Overhill to, like, Crenshaw. And they pull up like, where you from? And I laugh at them niggas like, man, like, you know where I'm from. Nigga, like, you know, I was ready for anything at that time. And I laugh like, man, y'all know where I'm from. And he'll be like, what? Like, nigga, you ain't got to put on my hood. Like, I'm like, man, we could go do that right now. Like, what did you talk about? Like, because I guess his whole angle now being older was like him to rile me up to see if I was really like that. And they took me down to the block, long story short. Got quoted on right there, and I ended up Wild Bill. Then the fact that Hillbilly put me on, he wanted me to be Billy Badass. So I changed my name to Billy Badass within the first 3 months from the hood.
Well, around 1995, you were around 7 years old. Your mom got indicted with 2 tons of
cocaine.
Yeah, I didn't know whether it was cocaine
Oh,
or weed.
yeah. It was 2 tons.
2 tons of cocaine.
Yeah. So my stepfather, I'm gonna be brief, but it don't matter. My stepfather was like a kingpin. He already was in prison at that time. I think he left 89 or 90. And they hit my mom and him for running a crime or criminal organization from behind the wall. And I guess the driver had got hit on the way out there to go see them. My mom, I guess she was running the operation on the street. And my mom was running the operation. It's all documented. I just be feeling like I'm telling when I say shit like that. But she was running the operation on the street, and the driver gets hit on the way out there and tells on everybody that works for the cartel instead of telling on the cartel. So ends up getting my mom in the mix. Oh, it was out of Detroit. My bad for They were headed to Detroit. Her indictment's out of Detroit. Yeah, the truck had 2 tons on it.
I mean, if
so
you're talking
that's
about
1,000 kilos.
Yeah, well, 1 ton is 2,000 pounds.
Yeah, so every kilo is like 2 pounds and a quarter.
Right.
Yeah.
When you're talking about Detroit, you're probably talking about BMF or someone affiliated with that.
So they're the wave right before BMF, but the people that the young Meaches and all that were copping from, they definitely have.
Got it.
Yeah, they're definitely like entangled somehow.
And that's how you ultimately get the name Bricc Baby later on, because the mixtape you first dropped was Son of Brick Lady.
Yeah. So, yeah. All right. So, moving on, like 16, 17, my hood name, it's a phrase in the hood that stay down shitty. Like, oh, yeah, he stayed down shitty. You know what I mean? So, like, when I was 17, I changed my name to Shitty. Like Shitty Cuz.
Okay. So why the name Shitty? I've always wondered.
Yeah, that's what I'm giving you the rundown right now.
I mean, because to call yourself Shitty,
so
there's got to be a meaning.
Yeah, so at the time, like staying down shitty was like dope. Like, oh yeah, he stayed shitty, he didn't tell. Or he stayed down shitty, he got a squabble on him, he stayed down shitty. Or you know what I'm saying? Like, he's shitty with the pistol. Like, that was just like a word we was using in the area, like in like 03. So my big homie, Eric had got put on. And I was just giving you this to tell you how I got the Bricc Baby. We'll get into that later.
Right. Eric is Eric
Holder. Yeah. So right. Eric came to get put on. I met them. I see them little dudes on Slauson one day, and I'm like, what's up with you little niggas? And I start having them kick it with me probably for like 2 months or whatever. So it come around like, come on, we going down to the school, starting to get put on, whatever the case was. So that day he got put on, we came up with the Shitty name. That was like a name that was really made for him. But he can't come in and be Big Shitty. So me and my big homie, that's, you know what I'm saying, that's Big Shitty, and I'm Little Shitty, like, you gonna be Baby Shitty. No, matter of fact, it was Rag. I was Baby Shitty at first. And he was Tiny Shitty. And then the 2 homies that was the same age, they was like, man, I ain't gonna be your little homie, we brothers, whatever. So we bumped it up. All right, so I inherit the name Shitty. Now I'm rapping and shit, and when it comes to me and Kid Ink putting out our first single together.
Kid Ink's your cousin, by the way.
Yeah, my cousin.
Right.
So Kid Ink's my cousin. Ill Will was the manager at the time, and he hit me. He hit my manager, Danny, and he's like, hey, you think that they're not saying that Shitro is not radio friendly? Because I took the shitty. At first I was Shitty Montana, then I was MPA Shitro. I started, well, we'll talk about that too.
Yeah.
But I was MPA Shitro, and they was like, well, everybody know it stands for shitty. I'm like, well, the world doesn't know that Shitro means shitty. And then they was like, you should just change it for the radio. I don't think you should go with shitty. So I was like, Bricc Baby Shitro. And the reason why I came up with Bricc Baby was because I had an upbringing of my parents moving bricks and stuff, and my first mixtape was Son of a Brick Lady. Mm-hmm. So I was like, and I already had the Bricc Baby tatted before I changed my name, so I'm like, Bricc Baby.
I mean, if your mom was caught as part of a conspiracy with 2 tons of cocaine, what ultimately happened to her?
Okay, so my mom, they started off, her mandatory minimum was like somewhere in like the 20, 30 year range.
Damn.
Yeah. So they fought from like 95 all the way until it was like 4 years they was fighting, because I remember her going back and forth saying she was going to court for a property. She never told me what it was for. You know what I'm saying? I guess they was suing over one of her properties in Detroit. And she told, well, basically what happens is, you know, it starts going down. That's to scare you. So it starts getting knocked down. And just the cartel started telling on everybody around to where they ended up figuring out that they were putting a heavier position on the lower levels, even though they still had 2 tons and a gang of money when they raided. Like, I got a story later on.
How much money along with the 2 tons?
I would have to go look, because I don't want to quote it, but it was a couple million. I got kicked out of the house.
Couple of $1 million.
Yeah, for sure. For
Damn.
sure. I got kicked out of the house in Detroit when I was in the 1st grade, or it might have been kindergarten, because me and my sister, she's like 7 years older than me, and the neighbors and stuff, we was playing hide and go seek, and we was in the basement of our house down there. We had a little casino down there, and we found like some money that was saran wrap like that. It looked like that. Yeah. And it was in black saran wrap. We ended up ripping the saran wrap open, and it was money. We just throwing the money all through the basement. My mom told us it took her 3 days to count that money. It was like 2.6 million we threw around the house. Like, we didn't even get to the bottom of it. We were taking the bands off and just throwing it everywhere. And I got my ass beat probably for like... Like, every time she drunk some water and got back to it, like, she was on my ass about that. But she moved that night, and she sent us back to L.A. within, like, a week's time, because the neighbor, the neighbor's dad was, like, a D-boy robber, but he didn't know that my mom was hustling. But we used to play with each other, so she was like, when we got over, she was like, the reason why we left that fast was because if the dude across the street would have found out I had all this money in the house, I'm over here by myself with y'all, he would have put together a crew and kicked the door. So I had to count all that money again by myself. Mind you, she had helping hands at first. She's like, I counted all the money by myself, put it all together, put it in moving boxes, like we was just moved out. And then we was at like a Residence Inn for a second, like, you know, the Marriott Courtyard. Yeah, so we were right there, and they sent me back to L.A.
Can you say the name of your stepdad? That was really the kingpin of all this?
Oh, yeah, Kevin Moore.
Kevin Moore.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Harry O, all the originals, the original Rick Rosses and all that, they all in alliance with each other. They know each other very well.
Yeah, I actually looked it up. There's a bunch of articles about him.
Yeah. Oh, because I know a lot of articles pop up because his dad was like, is that what popped up? Maurice Moore, the officer.
There's just a bunch of...
When Chief Parks was trying to go back for police chief again, his dad was the officer right up under him. And they put out a big article about my mom's case and my steppop's case because they didn't want Chief Parks to be like reelected as the chief again. So he's like, yeah, Maurice Moore, da-da-da-da. It was a big thing for a second.
Okay, now you yourself, right around 15, you started buying pounds from the Bay?
I think I hit the lick earlier than that, though. I started buying pounds. I think I hit a lick for like 20 pounds when I was 14. Me and Baby Hill Rock, we had, a girl got mad at her dad. A girl got mad at her dad when we first year of high school, and I guess he had a gang of pounds and stuff. And she like, I'm gonna leave the slider door open tomorrow. When we go to school, just go to my house and take everything. Everything is right here, da-da-da. So we went in there, we got like 9 bands and like 30 pounds of that brick weed, the stress weed. So yeah, that started me off. And then yeah, like 15, maybe my 16th birthday is when I started going to the Bay, getting pounds.
I mean, seeing your mom and your stepdad go through all this legal drama, it didn't make you say, I don't want to do this because I'm going to end up in prison? Or was it the opposite?
It made me want to go even harder because it was like I used to drive in Bentleys and live in big old houses and all. Like, I know what the dope money do. I was ignorant. I should have looked at it like that, but it was to the point to where me and my brothers used to be like, man, when I go to jail, I'm gonna have my little shit. Like, we was fucked up in the head. Like, we was planning on going to jail. It always was in the plan. Like, it was not like that, and it sounds crazy, but we spoke it into existence. Like, we used to go visit step pops or go visit my mom, and he'd be all buff. Like, I'm like, yeah, when I go to jail, I'm gonna roll my fucking khaki suit up like that so my muscles could show out. Like, I'm gonna be huge when I go to jail. Like, you know what I'm saying? Instead of saying I was never going to jail, we used to just plan on that shit. Like, I wonder what it's gonna be like my first time in there.
Yeah, it's just interesting when you think about your environment. Like, me growing up in the suburbs, in the Bay, none of my family was in prison.
Yeah.
I watched the movie American Me, saw that rape scene, and I said, I'm never going to jail. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had no plans on going.
Yeah, for sure.
Whereas for you, you're like planning on going.
Yeah, it was crazy because, like, yeah, that shit sick. I don't know. It just was because everybody in my family was going to jail. Like, my Uncle Hawk, rest in peace, he was in jail. All we did was go visit at federal penitentiaries all the time. Like, we had TI this week. We might go to Lompoc next month. We over here in Texas at this federal penitentiary. So it was like second nature, and everybody, like, if my step-pops called, we all over there like, hey, we want to do this, da-da-da-da. Like, all right, yeah, go pick up the money for Wooty Whoop. Like, it didn't seem like it was a problem. He was probably stressed the fuck out, but we was like, shit, it's cool in jail. Shit, he still got a gang of money. But, you know, like, I would, if I hear my kids talking like that, I'd damn near pop them. Like, man, what the fuck you mean you going to jail?
Right.
It just was like a different time of day. And my mom was in jail in the Bay, too. She was at that federal camp right by Alameda, Santa Clarita. What's that county up there? Santa Clara?
Santa Clarita?
Santa Clarita, Alameda County. It was, okay, so it's a jail right there, but it's a federal penitentiary that's connected to the county jail on that compound.
So how many years did your mom get?
Oh, yeah, she only ended up getting 4 years.
Still a long time.
Yeah, especially.
I mean, I guess for 2 tons and millions of dollars, it's not, but still 4 years is 4 years.
Yeah, like, it was a lot of time. I guess we look at jail different, but like, it was a lot of time, but especially for me at the age of like 11 or 12 when she left. I was in the 7th grade when she left, but I started school early, so I was like 12. Having your mom leave when you a mama's boy, my dad was always there and he never missed a beat, but it was just like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, is my dad gonna cook me breakfast every morning? You know what I mean? Like, but I was going with my aunties and stuff like that, but I moved in with my dad, but that's when our relationship became like, I understood everything because I was a teenager, just growing into, man, it was a perfect time to go live with your father for a couple years, though, because it taught me how to really, like, poke my chest out and how to be a man.
Okay, so, like you said, Eric Holder got put on, and you guys actually lived together at one point.
Yeah. All right, so Eric got put on. He was still in high school. That was like, I want to say Eric came like '04. He got put on in '04. He was still in high school. How did he start living up there? My house was the spot. So when my stepfather came home, I didn't know that my mom had a good little strategy. She had money and shit in the house and a lot of jewelry. So she let all the gangbangers kick it at the house because she had control of us. I had control of my homies, but we was like the security blanket. Like, it's a gang of little niggas that'll shoot you if you come in this house. You get what I'm saying? And I never understood why she would let me. But one thing was, she doesn't want me to be in the streets and get in trouble when she don't mind me smoking. And you know what I mean? Certain little stuff that you'll get in trouble in the street, like just come to the house so y'all can go in the back. And that way, I don't have to worry about y'all while y'all doing your thing. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me trying to control your life, she just like opened up the doors to the neighborhood. So when my step-pops came home, he wasn't that comfortable with us because he didn't raise us because he been gone. So he's seeing all these dudes, tattoos on their face, gang banging, big old pistols everywhere. They immediately get another spot when he come home. So they end up really leaving that house. They still own the house, and then we didn't move. We just stayed there on Overhill. So around the first time I got shot, Eric was living with us, you know, just every day. That's my everyday homie. We doing shit every day. We going back and forth to Atlanta, so he ended up staying at the house for like months, like years for real. I think from like '07 to like '09.
Okay, like early on, how violent was Eric Holder?
Eric Holder was a fighter early on. Eric Holder was like a fighter. He was a good fighter though. He had a squabble. His put on was rough. It was rough for us. We sit there like we're jumping him. Like we not finna keep letting this nigga whoop ass. Like I'm squabbling with him. Then Booger squabbling with him. We like the top squabblers back there at the time, like for our age. No, Jonathan hadn't poked out yet. And OB was too big. Yeah. So we back there squabbling and he like, we sweating. Like ain't nobody put him down or nothing. So he ended up, yeah, he was a good fighter at first. And he always been like real spontaneous with the shit, with the stuff that he got going on. Like you never know when he about to trip. It's always like a flick of the moment. Like he's known to challenge older homies when they question him. That's what got him the brain surgery. But
so yeah, because I've always wondered about this whole brain surgery. He actually had shock treatments also at some point, right? I had read that somewhere.
It was shock treatments?
Yeah, electroshock treatments.
I guess so from 2014, it's no Eric in my story. Like 15, you get what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, the brain surgery, what did that come from? Was it from a fight?
A fight. He got an older homie came down the block. Eric had on all red. And, we was back there in the Overhills on our block, and somebody from another block came over there. Even though it's all hood, older homie. I guess he ain't seen bro in a minute. He like, hey, who's you? Why you got on all of that? Bro, just get off. Eric ends up punching the older homie. The older homie been known to whoop ass since we was kids. He ended up whooping his ass. I don't think he was trying to put him in no coma or nothing like that, but I guess blacking out, stomping or something. Head trauma from hitting the ground, something like that. It caused a lot of swelling.
So he had to have an operation on his brain.
Yes, sir.
Did he turn into a slightly different person after that?
No, let me go back, because we jumped into the brain surgery. So I was showing you the progressive violence so he was a fighter at first, good fighter. And yeah, I did bring it up. Okay, so '07 is when I got shot the first time. I feel like '07 was the first time that he got behind that thing. That's when, like, when I got shot, like, I was his Michael Jordan. You get what I'm saying? Like, big bro, take me out of town. We getting money. We doing all this. And I don't do all this to reach out and big him up or nothing like that. I'm just giving a timeline. Like, Nipsey was my boy. Like, we'll get into that part. But just me speaking, a lot of people hate that I talk about Eric, but, like, I'm just giving y'all the story. Like, I'm not picking a side when I give y'all the story. So, basically, I was like, it's Michael Jordan. I get shot that night before I get shot. And I don't want to talk too much. I'm trying to figure out how to word this shit. We go to an after prom, and something happens. And when it's about to happen, while we at the party, the enemies come through to the after joints. Whatever happens, happens, right? And he gets mad at us like, y'all always the ones that, you get what I'm saying? Like, let me see that motherfucker, like, you tripping. Come on, let's go. So that night, we was asking for it. But we left from right there, we go get back cracking, we go hit the field. For the rest of the night, that happened. The first one happened at, like, nobody got hit either the first time. So that happened at, like, 12 after prom hours, like 12, 1 o'clock. We get right back to it. We trying to find that same car over there. We don't see that. Now we block the block. Shit going on. You get what I'm saying? But he going. It's like, I didn't know he had it in him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Then we go eat. Because this is right before I get shot. We go eat. I pop an ecstasy pill. We all pop ecstasy pills right after we eat. Now, this 4 in the morning. We getting higher at 4 in the morning. So probably like 3:34. Because Denny's was still open. Now we coming back. And my boy see the ops. He called, like, hey, long story short. We like, all right, they're heading east on one street, we're heading west. So we're saying, when we get to this street right here, we should be, you know what I mean? So we on the phone, and I just hear, blue. And my boy like, oh shit. But mind you, we so high, we never asked what type of car the boys was in, them other people. You get what I'm saying? So they get picked off. Now, mind you, I know these little crazy niggas just seen a car following them get pulled over, right? The ops. So they pull up, we don't know, but they trying to disguise. They got blue hats on and shit. They in a Cadillac. I look over, I'm like, man, that's not the homies. And I'm like, that's probably the car. But mind you, our shits is in the stash. You know what I'm saying? We kids. So we trying to hurry up. We kind of fumbling because we nervous. I tell Eric, like, hey, I'm like, hit that car up with a B. I'm like, throw up Blackstones to the car. That's exactly what I said. And when he did it, he did some stiff ass shit like this where you could tell he wasn't no blood. As soon as he did that, I see the back window drop. Now I see the familiar faces. I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, go, cuz. So now when I tell my boy go, because we couldn't get it, my dumbass best friend, this nigga, Ouija, turns left. So now when he turned left, you let them get behind us. Instead of like immediately hitting the U-turn, we was all high off ecstasy. Now we letting this car fly behind us. They hanging out the window, tearing us up. We can't bust back because it's behind us. You know what I mean? Well, they not even tearing the car up. I ain't gonna lie. The police found like 37 shells and they hit the car twice. So I can't even give them to tear the car up. Boom, we end up crashing. When we crashed, the boys stand over me. We crash and I get it. So basically we driving and I feel something hit me in my tailbone. But mind you, it's so much adrenaline going on. I'm not even thinking I'm shot. I'm like, damn, I broke my leg. And we hadn't crashed yet. I tell the homies, like, I broke my leg. They're like, you broke your leg? Like, what the fuck are you talking about? Then we crashed. They're like, oh, your leg broke? And I'm like, I try to get out the car. I'm like, oh, I'm shot. So one of the bitch ass homies ran, toe ass, and he ran to my house. Like, he was trying to run to the house. I'm like, you gonna take the ops to the house, you bitch ass nigga? But at the end of the day, we right there, and they parked like they about to get out. And Eric, I not to tell on them even more, but Eric saved my life that night. He went crazy. And then ever since then, I think that was it. Like him getting shot at that night, like being in the car while people were shooting at him, I think that was just the last straw. And he just took it to the next level after that.
Okay, because at one point you go to juvenile hall. Was it over that incident or?
Nah. Juvenile hall,
That was earlier.
Oh, yeah.
Because then you moved to Atlanta around 17?
Okay, so I was already, when I got shot at 19, I was already living in Atlanta.
Right.
Yeah, I moved, right? I went to college in Atlanta. So I went to juvenile hall, okay, 12th grade, right before 12th grade started. I came back from basketball prep school in Mississippi. I caught a case that summer, but it was a pistol case. And when I went on a high-speed chase, when I ran, I ended up throwing the clip one way, and then I ran a couple more blocks and threw the gun. So they found the gun with no clip. So that's a misdemeanor because it wasn't like,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So I didn't know that. So they ended up giving me probation. I pissed dirty, whatever the case is, every time. I've been pissing dirty from 14 to 18. I never pissed one clean. So I end up getting violated. And while I'm there, I get an acceptance letter from Clark Atlanta University. So the judge does a direct release, like, soon as I get the acceptance letter. No, he doesn't. It's July, and he like, well, what day do you start orientation? He let me out 2 days before orientation, so I couldn't do no gang banging or nothing. So I end up going to Atlanta then. But I was making trips back and forth all the time.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're staying in Atlanta, and you meet Big Meech and BMF.
Yeah. So I meet Blue Da Vinci.
Yep.
I meet Baby Blue. The twins are my cousins. The twin that works with Coach K. I think he's over there at Motown right now also. But yeah, Marnell Tranell, those are my cousins. Baby Blue, rest in peace. I just was thinking about Baby Blue. Baby Blue like my cousin too. Yeah, I get out there and I'm going to college, and Cobby Supreme, Nipsey's Cobby, he was out there at the time. I think he had just bought some property. My sister and them was heavy with the property at the time. And my cousin was dealing with the BMFs, and my sister and them, they was dealing with men from the BMFs. So as soon as I came out there, I get right in the mix. I'm at Club 112, I'm at Babylon, I'm at all the clubs. So yeah, I run into Meech and them like right around that time.
Yeah, I think it was around 2004, like late 2004. That's when I was, BMF had this big event, and they flew in a bunch of DJs and stuff like that.
To Miami or Atlanta?
Atlanta.
Was it at Compound?
It was right after Wolf got killed because Meech was on house arrest with an ankle monitor.
Yeah.
I remember I was at his house.
Yeah.
Everyone was wearing free Meech shirts.
Before he was even in jail.
Yeah, he wasn't in jail. He was on house arrest.
Yeah,
but he was an ankle monitor. I remember I was invited to
Were you at the White House?
The White House.
All right,
I remember we had the white Ferrari with the see-through engine and everything. And yeah, that's where I met Meech. Well, the only time I ever met Meech.
What was you doing, Blue Da Vinci or Jeezy?
I wasn't doing either.
Oh, you said you were down to DJ?
Yeah, I had done this mixtape called Rap Phenomenon, which actually is the 20-year anniversary today. It was this Tupac mixtape where we took a bunch of vocals and got all these rappers to do verses. It was like it won like mixtape of the year. It was like the biggest thing during that time.
I think I remember that mixtape.
Yeah,
it was legendary. Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Blue Da Vinci was a fan, and he was kind of bringing me around. And yeah, I remember I met Meech at his house. Everyone was like, it was really inviting. It was like, come hang out with us, come smoke, come drink.
Come on, man. And it just seemed like it was no strangers. Like he meets you and you're not a stranger. I just feel like the security blanket, and so the love that he put out, like nobody actually hated Big Meech.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of love. But also, I'm looking at this, and I'm an outsider. Yeah. And I'm seeing the BMF billboards.
When you get off the plane.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can't miss it.
I'm seeing all the Lamborghinis and the Ferraris, and I'm like, it's clear that this is not music money.
Yeah.
Right? Like Blue Da Vinci is not selling records. Yeah. Jeezy was. I don't even think Jeezy was really. He wasn't even signed. Yeah, he may have been.
Yeah, because I think
he wasn't signed to Def Jam yet.
Yeah, he wasn't. He was still with Diddy.
Yeah,
he was still Boys in the Hood and all that. Yeah,
exactly. So I'm like, okay, me being a white boy from the suburbs, I know what's going on.
Yeah, 1 + 1 equals 2.
So clearly, law enforcement really knows what's going on. So I was just like, I'm gonna have my fun here, and I'm gonna
get the fuck on.
I'm gonna get the fuck on because I didn't want to be caught up in what was about to happen. Because it was clear,
for sure,
what was about to happen.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was scary to me because it was like, yo, like everyone's gonna go down over this because they were so over the top. They had billboards that say the world is BMFs. They're really throwing it in the face of the feds.
Fuck he was thinking, but he was so smooth. If you read the case, if you read, like, he was smooth. If he didn't have 100 people selling dope for him, if he would have cornered it down to like a good 10 people instead of everybody could get a brick whenever they wanted, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think he would have lasted.
Yeah,
because he never touched. They don't even have wiretaps.
No, I get it. It was Southwest T that was caught on the phone.
Yeah. He was doing most of the talking.
Meech wasn't.
Yeah.
You know? And but it was just, to me, like I said, as an outsider, and I was broke. Right, it was cool to be around all this money, but I'm like, I also don't want to go to prison.
For sure.
So I'm good.
Your early wave was missed because you being a DJ, these DJs and these music people were putting significant numbers on Meech for like marketing and rollout and stuff.
Yeah, no, I could have, you know, they were fucking with me, but I also was like, man, I'll just go back to being broke, but I don't want to be put in a position where I was gonna have to be somehow tied into all this.
Yeah, and
you
it's
know
like,
what I'm saying?
I'm for the show not taking a rap for you, and I don't want to be in a position to where...
I don't want to be like, you know, where they forced me to wear a wire or something. I don't want to be part of none of that. So I just...
for sure.
I partied, and then, you know, me and Blue, I think, had another couple of interviews over the years or whatever, but I was like, yo, I'm good.
They never let me touch no cocaine. One thing about Meech, when I told him, because I was 17 when I graduated. So when I came out there, I didn't tell him, but when I told everybody around I was 17, they're like, yeah, here goes some weed and take your ass back to school. You get what I'm saying? They never wanted me to drop out. It was never a situation where they was trying to take me away. They really was trying to get me to, you know, like, I was, what was my major? Criminal justice. They really was trying to get me to be as smart as I could be. You get what I'm saying?
Well, you're in the mix with all these dudes in Atlanta. And this video, I've always had a question about. I interviewed 21 Savage a while back.
Yeah.
And he said something interesting in the interview.
You know what I'm saying? Because I got a lot of Crip partners. A lot of them, you know what I'm saying? A whole lot of Crip partners. Like when I'm in LA, I go fuck with the Crips. Like Shitty, you know what I'm saying? Baby, you all them folk. That's who I be fucking with, you know what I'm saying? So, he ain't on no shit like that.
Are you the Shitty he's talking about?
Yeah, I just got done texting him right now. That's crazy. 21 just told me I'm losing myself about Woody. But I talked to him. We just got to the bottom of it.
Okay, yeah, because people, I remember when that came out, well, later on, because this interview was done around 2013, but when the whole Eric Holder situation, people were like, is he talking about Eric Holder?
Nah, he was talking about me. Yeah. It's crazy that you bring up 21. I didn't do a lot for 21 because that'll sound crazy. I bought 21 around a lot of people for the first time though. I don't think that he was so with the shit that a lot of people weren't like, they were scared to mess with him at first. They wasn't scared, they just were skeptical, like, damn, should I let this little dude in on what I got going on? So I think the first Dirk song that they had together, I actually introduced 21 to Young Thug. Like, they knew each other, but they didn't start messing with each other until 21 pulled up on me at one of Young Thug's sessions. And I'm telling Thug, like, you don't mess with 21? Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, he like, oh yeah, little bro, hot. Like, woo. But they didn't have the direct connect. And ever since that night, like, I feel like once you get to the Young Thug and that realm, the whole city of Atlanta starts to, you know what I mean, flock to you, even though he already had the city on lock. But yeah, 21 was talking about me. We go back.
Okay. And PeeWee Longway is your brother-in-law?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys started rolling together and you guys start MPA together.
Yeah, so PeeWee Longway got out of prison like, what was that, 2008. Right after I got shot in the tailbone, PeeWee came on. And Jay Futuristic was hot at the time, J Money. Mm-hmm. He was hot at the time with the first name, last name record. And just the Futuristic takeover, Young LA, all that. That was like the A&I and Trapper of the Year and all that. So when he came home, we was already cooling, doing us. And we got Duke and Jeff and Wicked, and we started managing them.
Right, and Jeff is Young Thug.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We got Lil Jeff. We got Thug, because him and it was like Lil Jeff and Mike. That was Cash Out and Young Thug, but everybody was just calling them by their names at first. Everybody was just getting they rap name right there. And we wasn't rapping. Me and Longway wasn't rapping, but we was like, we around it so much. Let's pay for some studio time, shoot a couple videos. Let's just see where this shit goes. And we still didn't have a name for the label for like probably like a year. And PeeWee brother called home from prison like, man, it's money, bricks, and ammunition. We having that shit, nigga. NBA, right? And we like, well, we don't fuck with bricks. We running with that, Cap. So Lee came up, Cap, Longway big brother, he came up with the name for MPA. So we running with that money, pounds, of ammo.
Right.
And yeah, that's where it started.
Right. And I had the legendary PeeWee Longway interview.
Yeah.
Where he didn't know what that stood for. He didn't know about, about nothing from nothing.
I mean, it say it on his logo.
No,
man.
I know, but it was a great interview.
Yeah.
Like, everything was, I don't know about that. I'm a school guy. I've never been to the streets.
Yeah.
Like, that's what made it special. Now, when I look at your music, when I listen to your music and I look at your album covers and stuff like that, I'm seeing a lot of blue. The color blue seems to be very prominent.
It's a nice color, my boy. It's a nice color. It ain't nothing like that.
Now, I assume there's a Crip thing going on?
Nah, just a nice color.
Just a nice color?
Yeah.
No Cripping going on?
No, nothing. Just
no
a nice
nothing.
color, just the scene. Themes
Okay.
and the scenes, man.
Okay.
I wasn't hustling, man. I was a school guy, man. Going to school, handling my business, man, you know?
You 100% legal? You were good?
Yeah.
Doing everything by the book?
Doing it by the book, man. Making sure it happens.
Okay. And that's the way to answer those types of questions. People get mad at me for asking, but then people answer how they gonna answer. You know what I mean? So when I get that type of answer, I respect that type of answer.
Right.
And for all the future rappers out there, y'all don't have to answer my questions. Y'all can answer it like PeeWee Longway saying that, I ain't affiliated with none of that shit. I don't do none of that shit. I'm just a rapper.
Right.
I respect that. That's what's up.
Yeah, nah, for sure. Yeah, you got the most legendary interview ever.
That was his biggest interview ever, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure.
For sure.
100%.
Yeah.
And that's why when people ask me about Longway, I'm like, well, I can't talk about nothing that he didn't talk about. So it's like when it comes to MPA, it's just like right to the box. Like brother-in-laws, we started. But it ain't really, like people think that it's a deeper story behind what being Longway had going on. We just was like two popular kids. He was like the most popular kid out of Zone 3. He had hit the lotto a couple times. He had hit the 3-number lotto a couple times. So yeah, they know him for being the lucky guy over there. Then I come out there, I got a lot of popularity. Then in the city, I was kind of popular because I already was moving around with Meech and them. So it was just like the two fresh kids together. It made sense.
Did you say you tried to rob Young Jeezy for a snowman chain?
Yeah.
Nah, but you're cool with Big Meech.
Nah, all right, so that's what I'm saying. Like the series of events is I was 16 when that happened.
Oh, okay.
I was just a young, It was BET weekend of 04. And we've never seen nothing like this. You got to think, LA, we had the Suge Knights, we had the Dope Boys and all that, but like the real Gotti diamond jewelry, diamond in each link, like this has never been done in LA yet. And this is a time where I think, what's the dude? He got robbed at the Beverly Center. Jazzy Faye?
Okay, yeah.
I think I rapped about that in the Don't Come to LA verse. Jazzy Faye had. So this is at the time where the hood, well, my age group is learning like the rapper's jury is very feasible. Like if you get you some rapper jury and go to the jeweler, you up a couple $100,000 or 50, 20, 30. I'm 16 years old. You get what I'm saying? So fast forward, we at the White Lotus. I think Big U had just came home. So it was 04. He just had came home. We all right there. We end up getting in the club. It was so many of us. Soon as we seen we pushed the security out the way, rushed the club. Remy Ma and all them was there. So I get in the club. I jump. At this point, we like a gang of terrorists. I jump over the counter at the bar, steal 2 bottles of Patron, jump back over, go to somebody's section, push them out their section. This our section. Like, nigga, we grab the mic, like, hey, tell the whole club to roll the 60s in here. Like, ooh, like it's one of them nights. So, I see Ooey had a record with Snoop at the time. You remember that? You remember who Ooey was?
Mm-mm.
Remember the young dude that they was comparing to Bow Wow out the BMFs, and he had the song with Snoop where he was on the front. It was like a remake to, I want to say it was a remake to Lay Back. But Ooey was there, and Jeezy was there, and those were the 2 rappers. But then you see all these dudes, like Meech was there. You just see all these big-ass BMF chains, all these diamonds. Now, mind you, we on jury duty. So I'm like, shit, we just snuck in the club. I'm thinking I'm finna beat something up. I got a little tool, but we finna snatch it. We not thinking nobody sneaking shit in the club back then. I'm just young, you know what I mean? So me and my boys, we sneak into the BMF section. And like, we trying to ease our way to Jeezy. We see the snowman. We trying to go do our thing. And like, I guess we was the only ones thinking we was being sneaky. Because by the time we like about to turn to do our thing, they got like a chopper. This is my first time ever seeing like a mini Carbon or something. Like they got a chopper out like, and we look back and I just go to shake Jeezy and Ooey hand. Like, what up, man? Like I'm a fan of your music, but this is like, when first I'm gonna stack my flow, like that was like the only song he had out. And I'm acting like I'm a huge fan. They was on their game. We weren't able to even attempt to do it, but it is like we went to the club just to do that. We just seen a gang of ballers at the club. We was about to make our play and it got rejected.
Right, and you said later on when Big Meech and BMF all got locked up that everyone went broke within 3 months.
Yeah.
And I remember this. I remember like I knew a bunch of girls who lived in Atlanta and the entire Atlanta economy fell apart.
It fell apart.
Like all the strippers that were getting their rent paid for and their car paid for. All their boyfriends were getting locked up and people were going bankrupt. And
the money wasn't being recycled.
Yeah,
it wasn't being recycled. And nobody took advantage of those $20,000 nights that, you know what I'm saying, that they were having. Like, it happened so fast, bro. I want to say, what did he go? The end of 05, top 06?
Something
he
like
went
that,
somewhere in 06.
Yeah.
It was somewhere in 06. In the clubs, bro, you could see like the after hours, even the homies from BMF, like they trying to throw it, trying to keep their little status up in their face, but it ain't no more work coming through there, you know what I mean? And you know what? The recession came not too long after Meech went to jail.
BMF caused the recession?
I mean, bro, Like,
I mean, but the timing is
the
not too
timing
far,
sounds
yeah.
like, come on, bro.
Yeah,
like,
within
I'm
about
not
a year or
saying that
so.
he was the sole purpose, but he took millions out the streets by going to jail. And I'm like, what was the cause of the recession? Failed mortgage payments. You know what I mean? Like a whole lot of jugging going bad because everybody, that was at the time where they was doing the first time the FHA loans with the instant equity and everybody like they was pulling out they 50,000 instant equity like on those houses in Atlanta. Then it came to where they was fucking it up in the club with Meech. Now you can't even pay that mortgage.
Exactly.
Now the bank's taking back all the house. Like I just watched it and I'm like, okay, I know the recession in Atlanta came from Meech. I can't say the whole world, but I know that he.
Okay, so you and Nipsey Hussle, how far do you guys go back?
Me and Nip go back to like, well, him and Ink was best friends.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah, see, they don't really. That's why I be trying to get my boy to come out his shell. Ink just so.
I haven't been kidding before. We know each other.
Yeah. But he doesn't give you the nitty gritty.
No. He's the pop rapper, baby.
Yeah, but Nipsey, Bullets Ain't Got No Name 1 and 2 was produced by a great producer named Rockstar. And Rockstar is Kid Ink.
Oh. Wow. Okay.
Before it was a Rollo, it was a Rockstar. And they all did it together. So Paul, Oliver, it was Evan, Oliver, Ink, Brian, and Ermias. So that's Oliver, I don't know his rap name, but Paul, Ink, and Nipsey. They all grew up together and started off doing their thing together. But me and Paul also, we had a shaky beginning, but we also were cool. So when I see Nipsey selling T-shirts and CDs and all that on Slauson, I already was hip to him because like all my boys that go to Hamilton and Fairfax and all that stuff in West LA, they already had caught wind of, well, it wasn't even rap, that was their boy. You know what I'm saying? He went to the West LA schools and stuff. So I used to sell dope right there at the donut shop. He was selling T-shirts and stuff at the donut shop. We would move from Louisiana, like, I think Sam ended up telling the story, but we used to be at the check cashing spot because when the smokers go cash their GR checks and all that stuff, we right there to serve them, get they, you know what I mean? They get our number, whatever. And then the donut shop used to sell single cigarettes and all the, you know what I mean? All the stuff that the crackheads need when they don't got crack. They coffee and they cigarettes. So I'm right there shortstopping. I didn't really play the spot because the spots used to get raided a lot. So Nip was right there hustling with me. That was around, I knew him in 02, so we go back to like 03.
Okay, because at one point you introduced Young Thug to Nipsey Hussle, but Nipsey didn't really want to work with him.
I wouldn't say that it was, all right, so I introduced Young Thug to Nipsey in 09, I want to say, 2009. I want to say that was BET weekend too. That was Thug's first trip down here. And it wasn't that he didn't want to work with Thug. I think Thug was ahead of his time. Nobody knew what that sound was. You get what I'm saying?
No, I remember, when he first came out, like Danny Glover, it was like...
Yeah, this is before Danny Glover. This is
but
I
even
Came
with
for
Danny
Nothing
Glover, you
One.
were like, this is different.
Yeah, it's super
You know?
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's super different. So Nip was having his first wave. He was the hottest in California. I'm bringing Joe Blow from Atlanta out here. You get what I'm saying? This is before Future caught that wave.
Yeah.
Because he turned down the Future and Scooter song also. So
Nipsey, yeah.
Yeah, Nipsey.
Yeah.
He doesn't work as fast as everybody else.
You know, I've heard about this. I remember even I interviewed him about this, about working with Drake.
Yeah.
How there was this, he did Killers with Drake, but there was other songs, but he just said it just took him a while to put it together, and that's why he wasn't on, I think Killers wasn't even on the album. The song with him and Drake, it was just got pushed out like on its own at one point.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't remember.
It wasn't on Drake's official albums because I heard Nipsey just takes a while to work on stuff.
I think it ended up being on, was that Marathon? The mixtape? Or was it Bullets Ain't Got No Name 3?
Something like that, yeah. That's what I'm saying. But it wasn't on Drake's project.
No, it didn't make Drake's album.
Which would have been big.
Way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's just, I think that he could go, because when he freestyle, when you in the studio, he could go. But every bar has to hit for him.
Yeah.
So he'd go, and it'd be 4 or 5 bars that he knock out, and then he'd just be in the studio smoking, drinking coffee, like trying to come up with the next punchline or how to transition his bars into something else. It always was an art project to him. It never was like what we do, get high and just whatever come out, all right, keep that.
Yeah, he's a perfectionist.
Yeah, for sure.
And you introduced YG to Nipsey?
So I don't know if YG had met Nipsey at a concert or two before then. Like, you know what I mean? I wouldn't take full credibility for making the first introduction. But as far as like the stamping of brotherhood, yeah. Like, this is my little bro. Everybody knew who YG was at the time. You know what I'm saying? We fucking with him because my sister went to school with Cam, with his little brother. So I'm like, yeah, I came across him, you know what I mean? Because he started living in Inglewood or whatever. And I'm like, shit, we all together. I feel like y'all should work. You know, they got their little game together. I had YG around a whole lot. He was damn near like, because he lived with his mom, so when he used to want to hit something and be up out the way, he used to come to my apartment. I had a 2-bedroom. I used to let him get the other room so he could go handle his candle. You know what I'm saying?
Well, you first got shot when you were 19.
Yes,
the
sir.
whole situation with Eric Holder.
Yeah.
But then you got shot again at 21?
Yeah.
You got shot in the neck this time? What was that over?
Man, I wish I could tell you. But I got shot in the neck. It was over some street shit.
Okay.
But it's like a direct story what it was over, but.
Okay, was that a more serious injury?
Yeah, I was getting into it right now. Like, yeah, I was in a wheelchair for like 3 to 5 months, something like that. Cause I was on so many drugs in that hospital. I don't know exactly how many months I sat in the hospital bed, but it was months. And then I had to go to rehab after that. So I didn't start walking. All right, let me just start from the night. I was fresh out of jail. I was like 225 pounds, all like beefed up. That's why it didn't really do what it did. I'm out all day and about to go to a girl house, but I don't know. I didn't have no white tee, so I got a bomber jacket on, no shirt. I'm in the hood. I don't got no shirt on this winter time, November. Everybody like, you crazy, the motherfucker. I'm like, Mom, I'm finna go get a shirt. Mind you, I didn't go get a car yet because I'm fresh out. So my mom had like a Range Rover and like a CLS Benz, and my sister had took the car. So I'm like, look, tell her hurry up and pull back up. I just told my mom, I said, I don't feel like being with a gang of niggas tonight. I'm trying to go get a little bitch, go get a little female and go lay up real quick. You know, I'm fresh out. I'm like probably like a month home or something. So I end up going to the liquor store, to T&D's right there on Slauson and Keniston. Right there, that's the Overhill store, basically. Well, it's not the Overhill store is on Overhill, but that's one of our stores back there in Overhill. I end up going to the store, I go get a T-shirt. When I go get a T-shirt, the homies end up taking me down there. We all standing in a circle talking, and it's me, it's me, the dude that started the rumor about Eric Holder being a snitch. And a couple other homies though. It's 4 of us right there. And it wasn't like no altercation or nothing. They was pussy as hell. They shoot from what street? So say Sepulveda, a street like that's as wide as Sepulveda. You hip to Sepulveda in the valley.
Of course.
All right, so they shoot from way across the street. Like, I'm sitting there and they shoot across the busy street. They was like in the alleyway on the other side, Slauson, like the 57 side. I'm on the 60th side at the store. They shoot. I just hear bump, bump, bump. They said it was like 8 shots. I just hear the first 2. I can't tell you what else happened because it felt like I got knocked out, like somebody just hit me in my chin, and I've never been knocked out before, but by that bullet. And what happened was it hit me right here in this shoulder, and it came out this side of my neck over here. But it was lodged in there, it broke my jaw and all that. So when it hit me, I guess when the impact over here, it spit me And I just woke up on the ground. I'm like, man, what the fuck? And I told him, I'm like, I think I'm hitting the head. Because it's like, I've never felt the feeling. Like, the only thing that I could feel is my lips. You get what I'm saying? Like, I could feel myself doing this. And, like, my jaw was broke, too, so I couldn't really talk. You know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, don't let him kill me. I'm like, stand over me and make sure don't nothing happen. And because nobody saw the car, so we don't know what the fuck, what they came in, what the fuck just happened. So a car comes speeding around the block, and I feel sorry for that. It was like an older white lady, and she didn't get hit or nothing, but it was like she hit that block too fast, and it kind of, you know what I mean? But it was all out of a motherfucker like just being scared, so they came back, they end up, I was 225, mind you. So a limp 225 though. So you got to think, like, my homies that's trying to pick me up, it's not an easy pickup. So we all nervous. They trying to pick me up. I can't control none of my limbs. Now the other homies that ran, they finally coming up out the alley. That's a whole nother story. But they get me in the car, and I'm like, my head keep on slapping against the back of the back seat, because I'm telling my homeboy, like, just hold me up like that, because it was 3 of us in the car. I'm like, hold me back like you my seatbelt, like push me, because my body was limp. And yeah, I ended up at the hospital, and we still didn't know where I was shot, because I had the bomber jacket on. So when they took it off, my step pops was right there in the hospital by the time I got there, because I'm calling them in the car. When they took it off, they like, yeah, you hit in the shoulder. Oh my God. The burn from my shoulder to my neck right here. I looked at my step pops. I remember, like, it was just, that's it. Oh, I'm like, fuck, it's burning. He like, what you? He like, man, stop faking. I'm like, I'm not faking. I'm on fire. Da, da, da. Because mind you, I was calm, just having a regular conversation with them until they told me where my gunshot wound was, and from there it was just like drama.
Yeah, both the shootings happened in the same block, pretty much.
Like, yeah, like not even a half a mile from each other.
Damn.
One happened on La Brea, and then one happened right down the hill.
Okay. So then in 2012, you get locked up for 16 months.
Yes, yep. 2012, I got 16 months with half.
Okay, what was that for?
Damn, what was I at jail? Oh, for the YG video shoot. I got caught with a at the YG Meek Mill video shoot. I'm a Thug.
Mm.
If you remember the video, it was a dude with braids running in the white. I was running from the police in a white Benz. It wasn't an act. They really captured me going on a high-speed chase. Me and Nipsey had pulled up out there. Me, Nip, the whole A and B squad, we ended up pulling up to Compton. And we didn't know it was Treetop Day, but we ended up pulling up to Compton for the Meek Mill YG video shoot. And I called Nip earlier, like, hey, is J-Rock going? He like, nah, I ain't taking J-Rock this time, right? So I'm like, all right, I'm finna double up. I go get a couple of them, you know what I mean? I go to the spot, go grab a couple joints, and I pull up out there. The first person I see when I pull up is J-Rock. And I'm like, why the f*** you didn't call me back and tell me that you decided to bring J-Rock? Because it was like, either you gonna bring J-Rock or we gotta protect ourselves. You get what I'm saying? And I still was going, but I kind of came a little extra ready. I didn't even get time to park. I end up pulling in. As soon as I put the car in reverse, the police video shoot. So when the video shoot, I'm thinking my car is in drive. I'm trying to get up out of there. First thing I do is hit the gas. I hit the car behind me. All the attention is on me now. They run up to the car. Get the f*** out. I'm like, all right, back up so I can open up the door. He took 2 steps back. Shoo! I shot off. The Compton streets are so narrow, the police stopped right there. I couldn't go around them or nothing. So they end up like, I'm like, look. He like, roll down the window. I'm like, I don't want to roll down the window. I'm like, the door unlocked. Unlock the door. Get this off the side of my hip before I even get out the car. I don't want to get or nothing. I'm just like this. I'm like, I'm not moving till you get your possession. They got it. All right, cool. Then they end up taking me to jail. The crazy part about that night, they doubled back and had the treetops that night at that same video shoot. I bail out. I go to a show with YG. He like, oh yeah, my boy went to jail over this song. He performed the song. The next morning, I'm going to Atlanta. I got 10 pints of lean and like 1,200 Xanax. I end up right there in jail again 4 days later. So that's what I went to jail for, because it was the YG case that I got caught on the plane. I tried to put the 10 pipes on the plane, and they called me. They're like, Mr. Mitchell, if you're in your seat, please stand up. We need to talk to you. I tried to sneak off the plane. I'm like, man, I'm having Final Destination, whatever. They end up catching me, though. But, yeah, I end up doing time for those two things together.
Well, you talked about how Gucci Mane stopped you from shooting someone that he robbed.
I be talking too much. That's crazy. Well, I'm not gonna shout out. I don't care what interview. That's crazy. You came across that. I told that story before.
Yeah. This was someone Gucci robbed?
No, that's somebody I robbed. That was Gucci best friend.
Oh, that's someone you robbed?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was all right. So 2012 was the jail. The 2012 to 13 was the time I was in jail. But in that time, PeeWee forms this alliance with the greatest rapper alive. You know what I mean? At the time. Okay, so some people should stop rapping so they can keep their title, but we'll get into that. I'll let you know, go up. So I'm in jail, and Kid Ink signs the deal with RCA. We got the Wale and Meek Mill, the Badass song. So I called, they had Meek Mill shit. So I'm calling Longway. He like, man, I've been kicking it with Gucci Mane. I'm like, yeah, you been kicking it with Gucci? He like, yeah, because you know QCP was my homeboy before anything that was going on. He like, yeah, P and them, they been dealing with him. Big Twine, all that, the Wolfpack management. So I get out of jail and NPA is 1017. Long story short, we rocking with Gucci. I don't want to say who it was because we end up getting over our differences. It would be dope to tell the story like, but he is connected to the QC umbrella, the person that I end up running off on or robbing, whatever the case was.
Okay.
So, yeah, I didn't. So this is the thing. Long story short, I don't sell bricks. Motherfuckers sweating me about bricks. I act like I got them. I'm not getting into that shit. I'm not. That's one thing for my family. Remember you said, did your family, I never sell cocaine. Ever in my life. I'll never do it because I know how much time you get. So I'll sell them. Whatever the case is, I get them some weed. They want that. I end up pocketing like 100-something thousand. Like, I'm not buying them bricks. I don't give a fuck. And I'm coming like that. You know what I mean? At that point, I'm looped out. I ain't tripping. It is what it is. Boom. On the dead homie, so I get out and I end up go up on the ankle monitor at the studio. You ever do anything with Gucci?
Nah, actually, the funny part was that when I was in Atlanta in 2013, I linked up with Coach K, and he was working with Gucci.
Yeah.
He was like, oh, I'm going to get you a Gucci interview. But first interview this new group called the Migos, and I got you. So I interviewed the Migos. I did their first interview. I never got the Gucci interview. So that kind of worked out in its own way.
I mean, it's still, it's all legendary, right?
It's all good.
But, because you got to think, go up, you couldn't, at that point, you could not predict what tomorrow held for him. You get what I'm saying? Even though nobody could predict what tomorrow holds, but he's like...
Well, he was a loose cannon before he went to prison, yeah.
Yeah. He was tougher than loose cannon, though. But,
no, but I'm saying...
I know, I'm talking shit. Yeah. Nah, but, yeah, so I end up coming home, and Gucci was on the ankle monitor there. I was trying to see, did you ever go to the Brick Factory?
No.
Okay, so the legendary Brick Factory, kicking it there every day at the time, because Dolph was there. Everybody, they was working on Gas Molly Lean. Was that the name of the project? The 3 series CD that he put out?
I think so, yeah.
All right, boom, they was working on that. So somebody come knock on the door. Now, mind you, Longway already told me that this person be around, but I don't be giving a fuck. Like, whatever happened, happened. So I'm like, man, I don't give a fuck. At the time, Longway was on the IV. Him and Turn Me Up Josh, rest in peace, the producer. You hip to him?
Yeah, I think so, yeah.
He was Dirk producer. They had just gotten into a fight, and I guess the infection from the teeth went to his fist. So I had to, like, damn near set up his IV and shit. Like, we still rapping. He was supposed to stay in the hospital for 2 weeks. We like, nah, hell no, I need him at home. So this dude knock on the door. I go get the door. When I open up the door, I got it on me, but when I open up the door, it's him. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, all right. I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm like, everything straight? I'm like, you know we ain't here with bro. So I'm at the door. I try to stop everything before it even happened. I'm like, bro, you know we ain't here with bro, cuz. So, like, what up? Like, whatever we gonna do, we might as well handle it right now, or we just gonna shut up about it and go fuck with Guwap. We ain't finna do it in front of him, right? So, boom, when we walk in, he agreed to it. Then, like, when we walk in, Gucci like, you mad shitty? He like, yeah, I know that fuck nigga. What you got that fuck ass nigga in here for, man? I know that bitch ass nigga. Oh, man, what? I immediately up on cuz. Dead homies, we just talked at the door, bitch ass nigga. I'm like, cuz, on 6-0. I look at Longway like, I'm finna do it to him, like, nigga on the hood. So when I up it, Gucci grabbed my shit like, nigga, I'm on the ankle monitor, I'm fighting the federal case, whatever the case was going on. He like it. Bro, I told you don't bring your ass up here. You up here being a rap groupie, nigga. I told you he working. Why would you pull up right now? I'm telling you, he didn't even know he was beefing. He just was telling his partner, like, wait till later. We rapping right now. You get what I'm saying? And, yeah. I end up getting up out the door before him. You know, just gangbang culture. I ain't gonna let you get to your car before me. I end up getting there, and that fucked Gucci up even more. He like, man, he tell Longway, like, tell Shitty to come back inside, bro. He like, bro don't want to leave and let Shitty come inside. You get what I'm saying? I come back inside, bro leave. We end up, Gucci like, man, shit. Man, I done robbed a gang of people in my life. I don't give a fuck, Shitty, man. He like, man, that shit just can't happen here. He like, man, you damn near went up in my shit. He like, man, just continue on. But I feel like that situation, me, this, the whatever, finessing, robbery, whatever that shit is, it had took place before rap. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like that messed up. It's one of the reasons why I got a little bit of blackballing in certain areas, and P loved me to death. When we see each other, there's nothing but respect. But like, anytime that I need something from the QC umbrella, it kind of doesn't happen, and I have to respect it because I can't turn back the hands of time or change anything that has transpired. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah. But it's a level of respect. I seen old boy too every time that we out, and you know, I was young. I told him, you know, I'll help you pay. I think that they pay back as they success. Like, nigga, you know, Trick, keep that.
Well, Waka Flocka's first song, Oh Let's Do It, has a line called, I fuck my money up, now I can't re-up.
It's my work, bro.
And that line came from one of your friends robbing Waka?
I wouldn't call him yeah, it was my friend. That's my homie, York. So the same dude, the reason why Young Thug says Bay all the time and we all used to say Bay, but it wasn't, see, Thug turned it into some other shit. But this is the lingo guy that did it. He, rest in peace, York Baby, man. York Bay. We used to call it York Bay. He one of the friends that I just like inherited. You know what I'm saying? I got adopted into a family when I got to Atlanta, you know what I'm saying? And he just was a Cleveland Ave native. He from New York, but he used to be on Cleveland with, you know what I'm saying? After they tore down Longway and Thug projects, everybody kind of like migrated to the Cleveland Avenue Zone 3, like everything that was close by the project still or whatever. So, yeah, York I guess, had finessed him, told him he had some work or whatever. This is the story I got. Why? You know what I'm saying? That's my boy. He ain't never, like, rejected this story. I'm not, like, telling it because Waka's my boy. Like, and I wasn't there. I didn't send him, like, I didn't even know Waka at the time when the song came out. But, yeah, I guess he finessed him. And after he finessed him, he went to the studio and made a hit. But it's so funny because when we used to be in the club and the song used to come on and Waka like, yeah. He used to be like, that's my work, babe. I rocked you, Waka. He's so high. You got it, man. Rest in peace, my boy. He was the funniest dude in the world. He started the term running around the lobby and all that. But he used to be dancing. He like, this my work. I went platinum. Nigga, name one of your robberies that went platinum, babe. Yeah, man. But, yeah, my boy put him on to a hit.
Well, you've told the story a few times, so we're not going to get too deep into it, but there was a situation that ended up with you getting 4 years in prison. One of the situations was a valet driver had messed up a Range Rover that Kid Ink had owned.
Yeah.
And he didn't want to pay for it, so you pulled out a gun on him.
For sure.
Another situation was a fight that one of your homies got into, and he ended up stealing a bunch of Babe jackets out of the flight club.
Yeah.
And to make a long story short, you ended up with 4 years in prison.
So you want me to walk you through that?
No, that's cool. There's a bunch of interviews where you're describing
for
this.
Sure.
So
yeah,
I don't want to go ahead and rehash the whole situation,
yeah.
but it was basically that, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now you're in prison. In prison or jail?
County jail.
County jail. And then 2020 rolls around.
This is where you going?
So Nipsey Hussle is in front of his store with a whole bunch of his friends. Cowboy is with him. Rempa?
I think Cowboy was cleaning toilets or something. But yeah, Rempa was there.
Rempa was there. A bunch of other people were there. And Shitty Cuz pulls up with a girl that he was seeing. So I interviewed Cowboy about the situation.
Mm-hmm.
When Eric Holder approaches Nipsey, Nipsey said, hey, I heard that, there are some snitch rumors about you. You should probably get that worked out. And I think that Eric said something to the effect of, all these dudes is hating on me. That's not true, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Shitty Cuz starts talking to Nipsey, right? And Nipsey mentions some paperwork.
Yeah.
What did he say?
Said, well, so basically it's like, we all homies, we all friends. So when he seen the dude, it wasn't like he seen an enemy or he seen somebody that had told on him. You understand what I'm saying? So there's no reason to be like, oh, there go that motherfucker. So it wasn't that type of situation. It was more like, it's my partner. I ain't seen my cousin in a while, but I've been hearing some shit, and I ain't, so, hey, bro, look, they got this little paperwork floating around. You know what I'm talking about. You need to take care of it. Basically, he was kind of giving him a heads up. He never accused him of nothing. You know what I mean? Just saying, man, they got some shit floating around. I ain't read nothing, but, in the hell, it was more or less what you would tell a friend. Like, if you ain't seen me in a while, but Cowboy, your friend, but you done heard something about Cowboy, when you see me, like, look here, Cowboy, look, I done heard this, man, you need to take care of it. So my thing is, I heard the whole conversation. So you killed Nipsey. We know that. You already admitted to that. You killed Nipsey. But I know for sure you didn't kill him behind that conversation. So while the world is stuck on the conversation, oh, he called him a snitch, that's why he did what he did. I heard the conversation, so while y'all stay stuck over here, okay? I heard the conversation, so I still need to know why.
A few moments later, Eric Holder comes back and ends up killing Nipsey, as well as kicking him in the face and so forth.
Overkill.
And I remember that day, man. I remember you're seeing the news, you hear about the shooting, and then you're like, okay, is he gonna make it? Is he gonna not make it? And you're hearing all these rumors, oh, the government's involved, and it was just really a wild, insane day in LA. But by the end of the day, you find out that Nipsey had passed away. You're in county jail. What was going through your head the moment you first heard about the shooting? Did you know that he was dead when you first heard it, or were you getting it in real time like the rest of us were?
I wasn't getting it in real time because it was like around 3, 4 o'clock when it happened?
Something like that, yeah.
So you got to think it was count time at 3. It was count time at 3, so everything be shut down for about like an hour. You know what I'm saying? So then I felt like I was watching something on the TV, or I'm playing poker in the day room. So I'm playing poker, and a dude from Blackstone come over from Jungles. He come over like, shitty blood, like they killed Nip. I'm like, stop playing with the set. Immediately, I'm like, stop playing, bro. Like, I'm not finna play with you like that. Cause we was cool, we used to play. But then, like, I'm like, nigga not playing the death game with my homies, like, stop playing. He like, and I'm looking like, the fuck is you crying for? I run to the phone. I'm like, psh. I get on the phone. I'm like, hey, what they talking about with Nip? They like, yeah, he just got killed. And I'm like, huh? Like, what the fuck? Cause like, they like, he got killed on Crenshaw Sauce. And I'm like, how did somebody come into the parking lot and kill bro? Like, he supposed to be untouchable in this parking lot. You get what I'm saying? Like, not like that, especially with the status going up. And I'm like, I'm on the phone, and my wife, her sister got a baby by one of my homeboys that's from the hood too. So I guess he was getting custody of the baby, but he had to have a visit where somebody, like, it was in the middle of them custody battle, and he got full custody, but she was the one that was there during the visits. So I just happened to call in, and my boy was right there. So I'm like, damn, I'm like, it had to be somebody from the hood. I'm like, he like, yeah, it was somebody from your hood. And I'm like, why you say it like that? I'm like, I hope it ain't nobody from my family tree. Just like, cause you know, we on jail phone, so I'm talking to Carl, like, I hope it ain't nobody from my family tree. Cause it's like, I got a gang of little knucklehead homies, you know, baby, you all everybody that's around there, you know? So, my boy grabbed the phone. He like, I'm about to figure out a way to tell you. Just hang up, call back in like 5 minutes so we can figure out how to tell you, right? So we called back. He like, it was baby you. And I'm like, baby you? Like, Big you, sir? He like, nah. He like, baby you. And I'm like, baby shit. I'm like, where the fuck did he even come from? Because now I'm catching on, but my tears like freeze up. Like, they immediately stop. Because now I'm like, this is bigger. Like, I can't even mourn this situation too much because it's like, I know the 60, so my head just went automatically to politics. Like, oh my God, bro. They finna hate me over this shit. You get what I'm saying? Because some shit my little bro just did. You get what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's how I found out, and I was in there sick.
Well, this is someone who you were very close to, lived with you, saved you from getting killed, and now you find out that he murdered the most prominent person from your area.
And your close homeboy.
Right.
Like, the most prominent, I ain't gonna lie. If it would have been somebody else that wasn't my homeboy like that, like, I ain't gonna lie, I'd probably be just riding with him against that shit. But it's like, the fact that you know my relationship with Nipsey and how long we've been, it's like, you couldn't go no other way about that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And you can't, it's really up to them how they go about it. But it's just like, you couldn't find something else to do to him. You know what I mean? Like, all this backlash over you, it's like you threw your life away. I lost 2 friends is what I'm trying to tell you. Like, y'all could have fought. You know how to fight. You know how to fight well. You get what I'm saying? Or you could have just left the situation alone. But I think it was two frustrated individuals that happened to bump into each other on the same day. Because mind you, when Black Sam tells the story, he says DJ Khaled. In the series of events from DJ Khaled, the night before, they talk about tightening up and what people need to do in order to get everything straight over there in the parking lot. So now you pull up there in the morning with a chip on your shoulder because this is your establishment and you feel like somebody tried DJ Khaled around your establishment. So,
Wait, what happened with DJ Khaled?
Well, did you watch the Big Boy interview?
No.
Okay,
I just saw some headlines.
Black Sam finally broke his silence, and I guess I want to say a week prior or a couple days prior to him passing, they shot the video with John Legend and DJ Khaled, and I think Nip was on his way to the hood, and Khaled had got there before Nip, and while he was lingering around, I think some dudes approached him. And the whole internet was hinting towards Big U sent the dudes over there to approach Khaled or whatever the case was. And Khaled denied the terms. I mean, the allegations. You know what I'm saying? But somebody went and told Khaled, like, who told you could be over here? Woody wada wada wada. Sam and them had to come down there, nip everything in the bud, and you know what I mean? They end up shooting the video. It was a success, whatever the case was. But I guess the fact that they wasn't respecting Nipsey's wishes around there recently, I feel like he pulled up with a chip on his shoulder that day because even when the story was told in the Big Boy interview from Black Sam, they say the night before they were basically talking about security breaches, like basically all the liabilities around the parking lot and what they need to tighten up and how they need to, they procedures of when they pull up.
Yeah.
So now you got one dude, I know you heard that Eric had visited somebody else in the hood that day too. Did you hear that story?
Yeah, I think did he rob somebody
Nah.
earlier that day, or there was some sort of altercation, pulled out a gun on someone or something
it
like
was some
that?
type of altercation.
Yeah.
I was in jail, so I'm just getting it off the internet. You know what I mean? I'm hitting it off the internet too, because I don't be wanting to put people at risk with these stories. You get what I'm saying? But yeah, he pulled up on another one of my loved ones. I would have been hurt either way it went, but I guess he pulled up on another one of my loved ones earlier that day. So he was already over there on bullshit. So when they meet, and I really want Rent Paul to open up because I don't want to tell you what Rent Paul told me if he doesn't want his story out there. But when they meet up, there's they end up meeting on Saucin and Crenshaw. The conversation, I don't think was meant to go that way. I feel like Eric pulled over to pay homage. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah. I'd also heard that the girl that Eric was with wanted a picture with Nipsey, and
that's
that
what I'm saying.
probably made him feel some type of way, insecure kind of.
I wouldn't even say insecure because he was a rap star, but it's just like, okay, I'm going to let my girl go over there and take the picture, right? But then while she's over here trying to get a picture, you get to asking me about some snitch allegations that were not true.
Right. And you established this, that Eric Holder did not snitch on anybody.
I mean, the whole world, shit. You can't find no paperwork on it. Hell no, he didn't snitch. And then the person that started the rumor is also my best friend. Well, was one of my best friends. And we nipped that in the bud as soon as it happened. We checked it at Coach Check. He was frustrated about Eric getting out of jail the same night that he went to jail with all these drugs, but Eric didn't get found with nothing. It was your drugs. You wanted Eric to take the case. You get what I'm saying? Some shit like that. So they end up getting down and doing whatever they was gonna do over the mishap. So, but you know, when you say the word snitch, it's gonna spread. Then when you clean it up and, oh, he wasn't a snitch, nobody hears that.
Right. Well, especially someone on the caliber of Nipsey saying it probably hurt a lot more than just a local guy saying it.
For sure, because you gotta think, he's a rapper, he wants to rap, Nip's the hottest rapper in our area.
Yeah.
He's a gangbanger. Nip's the hottest gang. But like you basically are our bro god. Like Nip's our bro god. So you pulling up and you hollering, but you got to think this is a gangster and he throw it off. You can't. The most emotional person is a gangster. Like they be like, oh, motherfuckers ain't emotional. These are the most emotional people.
Yeah.
And you piss off a killer, he only got one way to respond to it. You get what I'm saying? So it was like the conversation. I feel like it shouldn't happen, but they had a conversation and I just feel like he could have went about it another way. Cause it's like you threw your life away and you took the life out the hood. Not only did you take a life in the hood, but this is the life of the hood. This is the only person that stands for unity, that stands for the community coming together, that's actually working. Him, Big U, it's a couple people, but like you rapping, you getting the money, and you still here.
Well, yeah, because Nipsey didn't have to start a store in that neighborhood. He could have gone to Melrose.
Yeah. Where he is that there now, but it's
He could have
like
gone to the Valley. You know, he actually was making an effort to put Crenshaw on the map. You know,
Exactly.
the Crenshaw clothing and
you only place
we've
you
all
can
heard
get
of
it.
Crenshaw, but Nipsey definitely put steroids into that
For
name.
sure,
You know what I'm
100%.
saying? And if he was hanging out in front of a store in front of Melrose, none of this would have happened,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
It's because he's in his
100%.
neighborhood
For
with
sure.
all these guys that know him, but he's the big dog in this. And I'm sure there's a certain amount of jealousy and so forth, you know, because Eric Holder was also an aspiring rapper, but not on the level of, you know, being known. He was a SoundCloud rapper essentially at that time.
Yeah, but I don't even think that had anything to do with jealousy at the end of the day.
So if you were to tell me, because I remember even when I talked to Cowboy about this, he said when Eric Holder pulled up, Nipsey said, oh, I wonder how this is going to turn out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When the car pulled up and they hit that corner, and when Nip asked Ren Paul, is that shitty? And Ren Paul like, yeah. And he didn't really say it to nobody, but I distinctly remember saying, I wonder how this going to unfold. You know what I'm saying? I think that's the exact words, like, I wonder how this going to unfold. Oh no, I wonder how this is going to play out, something like that.
Well, I don't believe anything Cowboy says, but if he did say that, it's because, that's why I want somebody, I'm going to get Red Paul on one of these platforms soon.
Okay. Yeah.
Because you'll see why he said that. If he speaks, Black Sam finally spoke, so it's like, everybody come out and give the world some closure of exactly what was going on right then and there. Because the story that was recited to Nipsey from Ren Paul was probably the response to what Ren Paul had just told Nipsey. You get what I'm saying? Him hearing that, like, oh, well, I wonder how that's going to turn out.
I mean, from your point of view, you know Nipsey, you know Eric Holder. What do you think caused Eric Holder to snap and actually kill someone in broad daylight around a bunch of people that know who he is? There is no chance at the point of doing that, Eric Holder is fully aware.
Yeah.
There's no chance he's getting away with this.
At all.
At all.
That's what
on
I
any
don't
level.
understand. At all.
On any level. He knows that once he does this, life in prison guaranteed.
I think, Vlad, you know what? I feel like it was like the last time he'll be humiliated in front of the homies. You get what I'm trying to say? Like the brain surgery thing, the snitch allegations. Now he's dealing with the hottest rapper kind of not agreeing with him over somebody snitching. I think it was the last straw with the humiliation and in front of the female, the drugs. You got to think the drugs are in effect. It's crystal meth in his system. You get what I'm saying?
But he was high.
Yeah.
And I was right. I looked it up. Eric had undergone electroshock therapy.
Yeah.
For his brain issue.
Yeah, see, I don't know what treatments, but yeah, I remember. See, what people don't know is he had just got the proper SSI for the situation, so he had received a chunk of money and went to go get his own spot and all that stuff, and guns and all that. So he was I think he was coming back around trying to settle scores and trying to place himself back in the hood around the people that loved him, because I feel like he was so much of a hood rat, hood baby every day. He had moved out the way, and then everybody just started like not fucking with him due to the rumor. I think that's what sent him down the road with all them drugs, because that's what I cut him off about. Like, certain hard drugs, we don't do hard drugs. Like party drugs, mushroom, molly, da-da-da, cool. But like the coke, the crystal, the heroin, all that shit, it's like, you know what I mean? Sherm and shit, like that's a little bit too hardcore. You can't bounce back from that every day.
Well, the murder occurs. And then I was hearing rumors about people that were affiliated with Eric were getting their house shot up and stuff like that. Any truth in that?
No. No. I mean,
you know what I'm talking about.
Eric's dad is law enforcement.
Okay.
So it's just like, to a certain extent, it's just like, because the internet talks, like, it's not funny. Like, okay, if it did happen, like, I don't laugh because of, oh, he's untouchable. It's just like, this new internet shit is crazy.
Yeah, no one's going to shoot up a cop's house. Like,
and then it's like, they didn't even kill him. They told on him. Who the fuck is doing the killing?
Well, right. Eric goes on the run for a few days.
Yeah, but you get what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. Like, everybody says they did this to the family, and I'm not trying to hurt Sam's feeling or nothing like that, but like the same people that's mad, they didn't do no slide. Not Sam, I'm talking about the Cowboys and all that. Y'all put his name in the hat. Sam never told on nobody. So what makes y'all hard enough to go kill his family, but y'all wouldn't wait it out to go kill him if y'all had these drops?
They couldn't find him. He was in hiding for a few days.
Understandable, but then all of a sudden you get this information about his whole family?
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah, no, I'm just
bringing it up
like,
because you would know better than me.
Yeah, but go ahead.
Right.
I
And ultimately, I think then Eric turned himself into like a mental institution, and then at that point he gets arrested.
Yeah, I think he was trying to cover his trail because he knew the only way he could get out of it is pleading insanity.
Insanity, yeah.
Yeah.
So then the trial begins. At one point, Eric gets beat up in jail by a Mexican dude, I think.
Yeah.
Are you get out when Eric goes in, right?
I was in the county with Eric for a second.
Did you actually see him in the county?
Well, nah, where they had him at, he was in high power. So I didn't actually see him, but it was a couple messages relayed via kite, and it wasn't nothing too crazy. He struck me talking about, I love you, bro, woo. And I'm like, I love you too, but I disagree with what you got going on, cuz.
Right.
I can't fully support that shit because, that was my boy, but I can't really write that on no paper to him because he got to go fight his case. So I just told him, like, man, you got to make better decisions, man, and lay off the drug.
Well, ultimately, he was found guilty, and he was given life in prison.
Yeah, for sure, but still, you could get into more shit up there, so still clear your head up for the rest of your life on that yard.
I mean, if you could have a conversation with Eric Holder, what would you tell him?
Basically, you left your kids out here, you done took away the life from the hood, like all over an emotional outrage, like, and then you didn't think about the people that was connected to you, how they, because you got the easy route, you in jail. You didn't think about your dad, me, your kids, and all that, how the world perceives them and how the hate that you would cause on, how the hate for you would affect other family members. Like, you know what I mean? Like, for the rest of your life, you got to worry about, does somebody want to do something to one of your kids or do something to your family? Because, like, just because it hasn't happened, but yet, you get what I'm saying? Like,
well, yeah, because I was really, I was blown away by the effect that Nipsey's murder had on LA, to the point where the actual ceremony happened in the Staples Center. which is like the same as like more Michael Jackson.
That's what
You
I'm
know,
trying
was
to
buried.
say.
You know,
Yeah.
the same place we did Michael Jackson's ceremony, the same place we did Kobe's ceremony. And to be fair, me and Whack 100, you know, we talked about this over time, is like Nipsey was still somewhat of an underground rapper at the time that he passed.
For sure. 100%.
You know what I mean? Let's just keep it 100.
No,
I was a fan.
100%.
I've interviewed him. Me and him knew each other.
Yeah,
We've talked.
but he
the whole
still
night.
didn't break through to
He didn't break through until after he passed.
For sure.
He had a great album, but that album wasn't going multi-platinum at the time that he got killed.
Exactly.
You know, he was on the cusp.
Yeah.
But he wasn't Drake. He wasn't J. Cole. Like, he was... But the outpouring of love that he got was on the level of, like, a Drake or a Kendrick or something like that. Just because of, I think, how tragically it happened and how many people really did love him and respect him. And, you know, and I was one of those.
Yeah. And the people that he did touch on his run were very, like, important. I mean, it was a lot of important people, but the way that he touched people, the way that he touched people, it was heartfelt. And everybody who came across him knew him as a very genuine person.
Oh, yeah, no. Like when he passed, it was like...
So to see
I got
him,
nothing bad to say about Nipsey on any level.
Yeah. To see him go out that way, I think that was the big boom for everybody. Like, damn, jealousy. One of his homeboys came and backdoored him after he shows nothing but love for the community and
Tragic,
all that.
man.
And then it was like he didn't make it all the way as a rapper yet, but who he was in the independent grind and everybody who knew that he was kicking that independent game and doing what he was doing.
Oh, yeah.
They all was like, oh,
yeah,
this dude is like baby Jesus when it comes to this shit.
Down to Jay-Z, because I remember our last interview was, we talked about how when he put out that $100 album and everybody laughed at him and so forth, the radio were cracking jokes about him, Jay-Z bought 100 copies. Because he respected what he was doing. And now these days, a lot of artists do that. Put out this $100 albums just for the fans.
He started the wave.
He started the wave,
I
man.
remember the signing and all that.
Yeah, no, he started the whole wave, man. And I was fucked up that week. You know, I was definitely sad living in LA. You felt the sadness in the air in the same way that you felt the sadness when Kobe died.
Yeah.
It was a sad week for LA, man.
Yeah,
and I didn't know him the way you knew him, so I know it affected you way worse.
Yeah, I was sick. I ain't gonna lie, I was sick. I probably cried with three people, probably three times over death in jail, maybe twice. But that one was like boo-hoo. Cause you gotta think, like, the shit with Fats happened 4 days after I went to jail. Like, I got booked for that case, we lose Fats. You get what I'm saying? I talked to him, he heartbroke. We put everything together, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he started getting back on track. He makes it, Grammy nomination. I talked to him, like, what was that? Early March around my daughter's birthday. I talked to him, and then I don't get to make it back. I've never got to kick it with that Nipsey that everybody was talking about. Like, I've never got to see the Grammy nominated Nip. I never got to see the Atlantic Nip. I never got to see this. Like, I seen the entrepreneurship that he was doing, like, before I left with the marathon stuff, but like, this big rapper dude, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because I went to jail in 17.
Well, you were locked up with Drakeo the Ruler.
Yeah.
I remember TK, his manager, wanted me to interview him while he was still locked up and fighting his murder case. And I'm like, I'm not doing this interview. This is all going to be part of his case. But as soon as he gets out, I got him. He gets out, I got him.
Yeah.
You know, he did the interview, talked about the whole situation, everything else like that. And you started to see him really glow up.
For sure.
You know what I'm saying? Like, even, I remember I asked Whack 100 recently in our last interview about who had more influence on LA rap at the time. Was it Drakeo or YG? And he said, you know, I said YG in the beginning, but I had to double back and realize that I made a mistake. Actually, it was Drakeo. Drakeo was really the sound of the next generation of rappers in LA.
For sure.
Worldwide, YG hands down
Of course.
gets that. I gotta keep it real.
Right. But LA,
I've had youngsters, I swear to God, just the other day, I was in Acton, California, on my way to Antelope Valley at 2 a.m. Youngster jumps out the car. Hey, Wack, I gotta pick a bone with you. I say, what's up, man? He said, first of all, listen, I'm 19 years old. You were wrong about YG and the Ruler. I said, what was I wrong about? He puts on some music. I said, damn, who was that? That sound like Drake. That's me. He influenced me to rap in his style. So did this. And he said, I'ma keep it real and you might whoop my ass. You know what he told me? He even influenced Blueface. That's why I listened to Blueface in his earlier years. And I sat back and I said, you know what? This is like the 15th youngster. They've been spotting me at the light.
right.
You were wrong. I fuck with YG, but you were wrong. Drakeo influence. So I think it's more rappers that's around LA
Yeah.
that was influenced by Drakeo's style of rap. Locally, in the last, it looks like 5 to 8 years or so, right? It looks like old Drakeo's been a hell of an influence.
How long did it take him to double down on that?
Not sure. Because by the time I talked to him, he had already kind of went back and said, yeah, but my bad.
Because, for certain people, you got to think Drakeo was underground, too.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you don't know the Drakeo effect if you're not paying attention to it.
Yeah, YG was more mainstream.
Yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, but, Drakeo definitely was way more influential because it's not too many. A lot of people redid the YG sound. Why YG was because he has that mustard sound, that ratchet sound. A lot of people did do the YG, but Drakeo was lyrical and that lazy flow, that new LA, you know what I mean, low octave that's going on. Mm-hmm. He's definitely a star, and everybody's rapping like him.
Oh yeah, even Drake jumped on a song with him.
Exactly, but I'm talking about now.
Yeah.
That's the sound.
No,
that's
I
the
you.
LA rap sound now, but it's Drakeo influence. Yeah, he definitely had a bigger.
So Drakeo's really starting to level up, starting to make real money, doing shows. He drops a song, Ingleweird. When you heard that song, what did you think?
I be forgetting that Drakeo ain't no gang member. So when I heard it the first time, I'm like, oh shit, he up the skull. You know what I mean? We make drill diss songs between hoods all the time. He just popular, so this one got more. But then I'm like, oh, bro ain't from no hood. He just went against the whole city.
Yeah, I mean, Inglewood is Inglewood, man. I spent a lot of time in Inglewood.
Yeah.
I would not diss a whole city, especially Inglewood.
Yeah, I ain't dissing the whole city. I mean, we don't get along with the whole city of Inglewood. It's just two Crip hoods that we get along. So, I mean, to me, I really be dissing the whole city, but with no backing and all that, no background of why you saying this, all right, they had they little, they shootouts and all that, but at the end of the day, you was a non-affiliate, and you could have kept that. Hey, shit happened, but, you know what I mean? It ain't fuck Inglewood. It's just, you know what I mean? That nigga thought he was trying something to a non-affiliate and ended up getting his issue. So, you know what I mean?
Well, yeah, because then a concert happened.
Yeah.
And he was there backstage, and he got rushed, and he got stabbed to death. And to this day, it's a cold case.
Yeah. Shout out to the streets for not telling. That's a one-up for the streets, you know what I mean? And I ain't saying it Drakeo mom know I love her. Just gave her the biggest hug last time I seen her. But, yeah, I mean, he a part of the streets. I don't think he wanted his killer to be found either. You get what I'm saying? But, It's just like Julio Fulio. I'm trying to figure out like the nicest way to say
Yeah.
it. It's just like Julio Fulio now. You keep barking up the tree, what the fuck you expect? Like, if you keep on beating at this same door, one day somebody gonna open it, and if you knock it too loud, they gonna open it with aggression.
Yeah, I didn't like that he did that song.
The Ingleweird song is like, come on, cuz, like, all right, cool. And it's just like Young and Ace and all them, like, y'all gonna keep, in the end, even the Chicago wave, like, y'all gonna keep dissing the dead. I just feel like for every action, it's a reaction anyway. And what you put into the universe, that's what you get out the universe. So it's just like, if you gonna keep on dissing the dead and be obsessed with the dead, why don't you go up there and go ahead and kick it with them? That's how I feel like Lady Karma coming.
Or if you're going to do it, don't live in the area of the people you're talking about.
You're right.
You know, if Drakeo made Ingleweird while he was living in Atlanta,
Yeah.
I don't think anything would have happened.
Yeah, he definitely was living over
You
there.
know, if Fulio, had moved, me and Fulio talked before he died, because I'd interviewed him. We're supposed to do another one, and then something happened where he couldn't make it, but he called me up really apologetic and said, yo, my bad, bro. I'm not like this.
Yeah.
I respect what you do. And I was like, I was telling him, I'm like, yo, like, Fulio, I was like, you're bigger than all these guys that you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? I'm not talking about Young and Ace. I'm talking about all the other little dudes.
Yeah,
He's
all the
talking
people
about
that he keep dissing in his
all
songs.
these guys,
Yeah.
because ultimately one of the guys who's charged with his murder, his brother got killed by one of Fulio's guys.
Yeah, kidding.
And Fulio made a song about it.
Yeah.
And then one of those guys made a video pissing on the grave, and it's ugly.
For sure. Was it Bibby? Bibby's
I'm
brother
not
or
sure.
something like, or no, I think it was somebody else.
I'm not sure. I don't want to
put
I don't want to put out the wrong name, but
Yeah,
like,
me neither.
And then you go have a party a few hours from where all of them live.
And you got the murderer with you.
You got the murder with you, then the girl who told everyone else she's at the party.
Exactly.
It's sad, man. I don't, and like I counted 19 people that I've interviewed have died violently.
Yeah. 19?
19.
Jeez.
You want the list?
Yeah.
Hold on, I'll give you the list. Because after Fulio got killed, I said, yo, let me go back and actually count, because it's insane. Jimmy Wapo, 21. Doe B, 22. Jay the Youngin, 24. BTV Savage, 26. FBG Duck, 26. Fulio, 26. Mo 3, 28. Drakeo, 28. Takeoff, 28. Chinks Drugs, 31. E-Day, 632. Big Low, 33. Slim, 400, 33. Nipsey Hussle, 33. Young Greatness, 34. Snooty Wild, 36. Young Dolph, 36. The Jacka, 37. Gonzo, 45. All of them way too young. None of them died of old age.
That's what I said. You barely got anybody over 30.
Most are between their 20s and 30s.
Yeah.
All of them black. All of them shot, except for Drakeo, who was stabbed.
That's crazy.
Now, granted, I've been doing this for 16 years. It's not like this all happened in a short period of time.
Nah, but it's still just like, geez, where do you feel like?
Yeah, and some of these people you personally knew.
Yeah, 100%. Even Chinks, that was my boy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
crazy.
and I have a connection to all of them.
Yeah, that's sick though.
And it just shows how, like me and me and Fly, who, managed his wife and Lucci, and also
Oh, yeah, Fly.
Yeah,
Oh,
who
boy.
he, I did Rich Homie Kwan's first interview because of him, and we were talking about it, and he's just like,
Damn, did you say Rich Homie? Or you said murdered? They had to be murdered.
Rich Homie's not on that list.
Yeah,
but we were,
yeah.
because Rich Homie Quan had just died
Yeah,
of overdose.
that's just crazy.
We just got on the phone.
Yeah.
And actually, Rich Homie Quan is one of 5 people that I interviewed that died of overdoses. Mac Miller, 26, Aaron Carter, 34, Quan, of course, 34, Gangster Boo, 43, and Coolio, 59. But we were just talking about how rap is the only genre that the artists are getting killed on a regular basis. Doesn't happen in rock. Doesn't happen in R&B.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen in country.
Yeah.
As popular as country is, you don't hear. And trust me, those country dudes got guns.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
For sure.
You can
those
carry.
those are the liberals.
Yeah. You know, those are all the Bible Belt gun toting.
Come on, man.
You know, shooting in their backyard.
Come
they
on,
probably got
man.
more guns than the rappers.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I'm
for
saying?
Sure,
but you don't hear
100%.
any of them shooting each other or getting killed violently and so forth.
I just feel like
yeah.
I feel like we all grew up like crabs in a barrel. Feel like black people by nature, like when they see somebody with something, and I'm not saying that the reason why the shooting is, but it's just like I'm supposed to have that. I'm tougher than them. That's supposed to be mine. Instead of working towards it and getting along and matching each other's craft and compete that way, it's like if I can't beat them, it ain't I can't beat them, join them. It's if I can't beat them, let's take him out.
Yeah, I mean, Boosie called it hypnotized with hatred.
For sure.
That's why he moved out of Baton Rouge. Now lives in Atlanta and has no drama living where he's living.
And it's just like, I try to tell my baby mamas and them all the time, I'm like, I think I'm gone. Like, I wanted to stay till my daughter was in 12th grade and all that, but it's just like, I think I'm out of LA.
I don't blame you.
It's just narrowing down, and there's too many people. Like, it just ain't working for everybody out here. And it's like, I'm not having no issues, but it's just like everybody else having so many issues that I don't even want to be connected to that shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it was the last couple weeks we lost like 4 homeboys, and then they talking about a peace treaty, but it's just like, people are so much of trolls and just want attention now. Like, you talk about putting peace in the city, and then motherfuckers go out and try to break up the peace because they have no identity outside of their gangbanging and who they could diss. Now, if you tell them you ain't got no more ops today, who is that dude? You get what I'm saying? You don't got nobody else to diss on Instagram. You not getting no money. You just a sitting duck at that point. You get what I'm saying? And people are afraid to be sitting ducks, but you're safer as a sitting duck until you figure out what the fuck you want to do with a little bit of peace and give you some room to think about getting money. Because what you doing is you beefing with the air for real. I'm not gonna lie. It's not a lot of people dying in this, out here like that. It is, but it ain't. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So y'all beefing with the air, and then when it comes time to have peace, y'all ain't slid in weeks and months, either way it go. But now your big homie's giving you an out, like, yo buster ass, we gonna call it peace treaty. Now your buster ass don't gotta act like you slide. You don't have to slide, and we just gonna do it that way. And you get what I'm saying? They so scared because all they know how to do is, you know what I mean, that they don't want to go attack the other side of life. So they like sitting in a box, and I don't want to be in this box. And then it's like, you're sitting there and you looking over the fence thinking that you can't accomplish the shit that's going on the other side of the fence because you won't put no work to it. Nobody's going to teach you how to get there. You get what I'm saying? So now you looking at my plate like you want to eat off of it, or I owe it to you to give you some food off of my plate.
Yeah, man, listen, I stay out the way. I understand who I am and understand that there's certain places I'm just not going to go.
Period.
You know, I would meet my friend in Inglewood to go grab some food. I'd pull up early and I'd call him up and say, nope, we're not eating here.
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah, we figured
Gotta find another spot.
Yeah, we figured.
Because, you know, I'm going to walk in and someone going to make a phone call.
Yeah, Vlad's here.
Vlad's here.
Yeah.
And then I might have an issue.
Yeah, but
well, you know, what's the point? Let's just go to a more high-end spot where, you know.
Come on, man. We just beat all the odds that way. You know what I'm saying?
We don't have to eat in the hood
enough.
spots. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's cool. It's cool. I don't need to be in the mix like that. I live in a gated community. You can't roll up on my house. Like I've set up certain things.
You know how to play
to avoid
LA.
Yeah, to avoid potential situations. Now you said that Gunna paid for Draco's funeral.
Yeah.
Were they close?
Through the pandemic, yeah.
Okay.
He was basically, we came home the same week, same month, me and Drakeo.
Mm-hmm.
So I think he met Gunna and them then. But his relationship with Dub, now mind you, Desto Dub is like one of my close homeboys too. That's the reason why he's so close. Like he got to Gunna and Thug and them, even though his work ethics did too. But he has a close relationship to Thug and Gunna.
Okay.
Desto Dub. And then Drakeo was like his artist on the low. He wasn't claiming full management, but he definitely was helping him.
Drakeo was Gunna's artist?
No, Desto Dub.
Desto Dub, okay.
Yeah. But long story short, they ended up getting cool right during the pandemic when we came home or whatever the case was. And it just was like another unfortunate situation that, you know what I mean? He wanted to work with him. Time didn't allot that, whatever the case was, and he ended up passing away. And it's like, shit, at least I could do. I mean, not even the least, it's just a friendly gesture.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? I got it. The family, don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, that was dope. That was dope. I mean, seeing the YSL case play out the way it's been playing out, it's now the longest running criminal case in Georgia state history.
Yeah.
It's at like 20, 21 months, I think. It's
Yeah,
approaching
that's
2
it.
years. It's not done anytime soon. It's going to go into 2025. When you saw Gunna take his plea deal and do the whole yes ma'am, you know, and people are kind of split over this. You know, ultimately, I think it only helped Gunna's career because he's, I feel, a bigger artist than he was than before.
Yeah.
You know, but, you know, I did interview people like, for example, Fredo Bang, who said that he would never have done that because he would never stand in front of a judge and say that his label was a criminal organization, because it's not.
I would never agree that my label is a gang, because it's not. It's a label for a reason. You feel me? I would never agree that my label's a game. I would never agree that my label has did any crimes. Even though I was to plead out, I would still say, I'm pleading out. I'm taking this time to get out of jail to go back to my family. But I would never agree that this is a gang or we committing crimes.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, I feel like what Gunna's lawyer told him and what he actually had to go through, when he signed the paper in the back, he didn't read that shit. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Then you go out there and he like, yeah, just say yeah to everything that she got going on, that she going to
Wait, he paused. When she said, is YSL a criminal organization? There was a long pause. He said, yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
And then it's like, have you seen them do acts, you know, pursuant of criminal, you know, crimes? Another
like,
long pause. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Because it was like, yeah, he was stuck.
I feel like his lawyer didn't tell him that he was going to be doing
Yeah, but
enough foul
you can't blame that on your lawyer.
No, hell no.
Yeah.
I'm not
you choose not to read the paperwork.
Yeah,
that's
what
on
I'm
you.
saying. And even when they asked the question, like, wait, can you reword that question, or can me and my lawyer talk real quick? Like, before I say that, like, I need to talk to my lawyer because I didn't know that was there. You know what I mean? And hey, if we gotta, this the thing, they still gonna work that deal with you. They still gonna kick the deal. At this point, you gotta tell them what, I'm gonna plea out to what I've did. I don't know. I can't speak on a gang or nothing that.
Me and Gunna's lawyer were in contact right after that happened because we, you know, we were still, you know, we had the news site back then and we were kind of posting up a lot of stuff, and the lawyer was starting calling me directly. It was like, listen, Vlad, what he's doing has no effect on Young Thug's case. He's not going to be required to take the stand because it would be self-incrimination because the feds could pick up the case.
Yeah.
Right? So he would have gotten out anyways. He just chose to get out a little bit earlier by saying what he said, but he would have gotten off anyways because ultimately Gunna didn't do anything.
Exactly.
He was caught in a car with some guns or whatever that weren't his, and that was it. That was pretty much the extent of his
why not
affiliation.
sit there and ride it out
Yeah,
until
I think
trial?
I think most people who really know the situation, understand the laws, all say he should have just sat there for a few more months. He would have gotten
He would
out.
have still got out.
Yeah.
But that controversy is the reason why I feel like he's selling. But like, I don't know. I'm not finna say that. So basically, I'm a Crip, Gunna a Crip. Whatever y'all charging me with as a blood and YSL, y'all got to knock that off. That's what I would have went in there like, look, on the dead homies, I'm not taking nothing for no YSLs. I'm not finna do none of that. If you want to violate me for being a Roller 60 and do that, then do that. I can't speak on YSL as a gang, or I only can speak on a label situation because I'm signed to them. I'm not even no blood. And I would have did it that way. And for all the bloods that was on there, that went in there and had talks with the investigators and all that, y'all didn't express the fact that Gunna is a Crip and he don't got nothing to do with our business, y'all kind of in the wrong too.
Yeah.
Like, Gunna still got to do what he got to do for himself, but like, that's what you get. You trying to hold some Crips on your indictment. Everybody ain't solid. Like, shit, you lucky you motherfucker didn't go tell on, hey, y'all not from the same hood.
What's your take on YSL Woody?
There's so much shit on the internet going on with me and that dude. I ain't know he carried luggage like that. But
Did you guys link up at one point?
what, just a couple days ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I didn't link. It looked like we linked up. I didn't link up with YSL Woody. Like, Adam and them did the vlog and they did an interview. I just was holding Adam down while we was right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just was watching his back the whole time. Like, I wasn't, because I mean, not even, he had security, but I was right there because in my second home of Atlanta, we go down there to get some content about what's going on in the streets of Atlanta.
Yeah.
So he decides he wants to go head up with Woody. And I'm like, all right, cool. And when I get there, I'm like, is y'all fucking with Woody? They like, So off the rip, off the bat, but off the rip, I tell Adam, I'm like, I ain't gonna touch the interview or the vlog. I'm gonna be there though. I'm gonna make sure that everything, you know what I mean? Because I know all these people. Like, I'll be there. I just ain't gonna touch it, right? So we go there, and we sitting around, and at Drama Studio, they take pictures of celebrities. Have you ever been to Mean Street in Atlanta?
No.
Okay, so they take the pictures of the people that visit there and put you on the wall, right? So I'm taking my picture for the wall. Like, mind you, I didn't ask no questions in the interview, nothing. I've been knowing Woody since he was like 16, 17 years old, though.
Okay, so you actually know him.
Yeah, I used to live across the street from his grandma's house. His cousin Meat, his cousin Babe Bruh, Bastard, and all them all my boys I used to gamble with. We used to go do our thing. So, because he from 30 Deep, he from Mechanicsville. I had dealings with, you know what I mean? Growing up, we all went to the same clubs and all that, so I know Woody. You get what I'm saying? He like, come on, let's get one in. Now, mind you, he know he the most hated nigga in Atlanta.
Well, yeah, but what has been happening to Woody recently was so
Star
unexpected. I mean, he is not only doing paid interviews, that's not a big surprise, but he spoke at Thurgood Marshall Law School.
Yeah. He's
getting paid promo posts.
Come on, man.
He's doing 20 versus 1.
Back to
like,
back.
he's like a certified internet celebrity right now.
Sure, he took off. And just like I said it before, you kill a rapper or you kill somebody, get out, you snitch on somebody, just go get you a manager. Go get you a manager after that. You go on a run. As long as you're ignorant enough to still be yourself after that shit, you'll do well in this trolling ass world.
Yeah. No, I mean, the interview was offered to me. You know, I had a couple people, speak to me about doing an interview with Woody. And my thing is, like, he's still in the middle of the case.
Yeah.
Right? He's still taking the stand and the case is still ongoing. So whatever he says is going to be, I'm going to put myself into this case.
Yeah.
Which I don't really want to do. Because I know a lot of other shit also, like, that I haven't said on camera because I'm going to put myself into this case.
For sure.
And it's a murder case on top of it.
100%.
So I'm just like, I'm good. I'm good. When it's all said and done, when everyone's, either let free or convicted, whatever, then me and Woody could sit down and we could have a conversation.
And that's what I said. And I'm like, I wonder, is the DA gonna take that and be like, well, he might have used this for means to get on in this world, like he's trolling us because he sees that. I don't know. You
I
know
don't
what I'm
know,
saying?
man.
But it's like, you should wait till after to do like the 20v1s and all that. That's cool, the content. But to sit down and do interviews right now, it's kind of like you not giving your work time to set in. Like, you just did a good job throwing them off on stand. But to sit there and kiki ha ha about it afterwards, before the case is over with, it's like, look, he's clowning us in our face about this shit. But I don't know. That shit is just the craziest shit in the world.
Yeah. I mean, were you surprised when you saw the video of YSL Woody essentially putting the murder on Young Thug?
Hell no.
You're not surprised?
I wasn't surprised because I'm from the streets. I know motherfuckers will do whatever to get the fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, I wasn't surprised. But what surprised me was, like, I really know dude and I really know what happened. Like, how is you telling? And the shit you saying is not true. That's what the whole time I've been sitting there like, that's not true. That's not true. But it ain't been true on purpose. You get what I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I get where he was coming from. I wouldn't talk to the police at all. But when he said what he said, like, oh, I never thought that they'd take down the artist because they know he's a big artist and he didn't have nothing to do with this shit. So I kept on feeding them information about him.
Yeah.
But it's like, you can't make bro no scapegoat for you trying to get off of a case and now 3 years of his life been compromised in order for you to pull off what you need to pull off. But in hindsight, he ain't no rapper. He ain't all that. So like you said, you bringing up my name and songs and all that, you never think about that. Then you just cut a nigga off. I do all this dirty work for you and all that, or around you, and you bringing up my names and songs, making it hot for me out here in the streets, and then you just cut me off. I feel like he's doing this to open Thug's eyes up, like, hey, bro, I could really end your life over this shit. You stop fucking with me and I'm your shooter, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's a little tap on the shoulder. I'm gonna get you up out of it, though. Watch this. You get what I'm saying? Which is not cool at all, but you know what I mean?
I mean, if you were to guess how this trial ends, and I understand that you have ties to Thug and, you know, Woody and Gunna and so forth.
Yeah.
How do you think this is going to end? Do you think that Young Thug will be found guilty, or do you think he's going to get a time served and walk away?
So it depends on what, like, the murderers is not guilty and all that. They probably end up pinning them with the YSL gang charge and time served, I feel like.
Yeah, like I remember I talked to George Cheedy. He was a journalist who told me this was about to happen right before it happened.
Yeah.
He was like, yo, there's about to be a big major rapper's about to get busted. And he even told Young Thug's dad that this was about to happen, which was unfortunate that I don't think they took it seriously enough, because what he thinks will happen is that there's no way to get around what they found in Young Thug's house when he got arrested.
Yeah.
They found the drugs and the guns and so forth.
Yeah,
so he
yeah,
said that
yeah.
regardless of all the other stuff, he's gonna have to eat that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
he's surprised that the dad didn't tell his son, hey, listen, I'm hearing there might be a raid. Make sure your house is clean. You know?
Yeah, I mean, he probably did tell her that. And he's like, man, fuck you talking about? You know how Thug is, like, fuck you talking about?
Oh, yeah. Take that shit to motherfucking trial.
Yeah, folks ain't worry about me, man. I'm out here handling my business, taking care of my kids.
Yeah, no,
you
man,
know,
you don't think it's serious
because
until it actually happens, because you've been getting away with it for so long and you got money and... Yeah, but it's a mess, man. It's a mess.
Yeah.
And
I feel like that Thug didn't see it coming because you got to think, bro, because I done been in them situations. I just say, like, what I just got out of jail for, like, really, I'm only getting charged because I'm the most popular person that was there that day. Like, it's clear I didn't do shit. Like, you know what I mean? But, like, you holding me responsible for another man with dick and balls. I don't understand that. Like, this nigga got his own dick. You get what I'm saying? Like, I can't control when that motherfucker get hard or do what the fuck. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, come on, man. He got his own dick and balls, and he make a decision to go do some dumb shit. It don't matter what fucking car he in. If I'm not in the car and I ain't there, now you could pay, but if you can't prove that I paid, then like,
yeah, no,
which if it's no wires, if you don't got no, like, you ain't gonna be able to ever prove that, right?
Yeah.
So now you gotta look at it as, I wasn't there. I can't control. That's like them being mad at me for the shit that Eric did. Like,
yeah,
nigga.
well, I think they're trying to say because the car that was involved in the murder, Young Thug had rented it.
Bro, if you right now got some rentals in the car, just say this is Vlad just getting on, and we about to go on tour. All you got is Mercedes and shit. Of course the guys can't ride those. I'm going to get a couple rental cars just in case shit gets on.
Yeah.
Now, you give me the keys to a rental.
Yeah, and you go.
Which you probably wouldn't do now that Thug's in jail, right? But just say back then, you give me a key. I'm gone for the day. I come bring you the car back.
Yeah, you don't know what happened that day.
You don't know what the fuck happened.
Listen, if you really take a step back, right? Take a step back. And this is what me and Fly were talking about the other day. Take a look at all the crazy shit that happens in hip hop. All the violence, all the murders, the robberies, the scams. Almost never is the actual artist responsible for it.
Ever.
It's almost always, 99% of the time, the entourage.
Unless you Pooh Shiesty.
Unless you're Pooh Shiesty. Right?
Pooh Shiesty gonna handle his candle vice.
And Gucci. But
yeah, go up.
But I gotta say, the other 99%, it's always guys who have a bunch of knuckleheads around them that are acting that the person who's paying for this is not gonna end up catching all the flack. They're doing the regular shit they've always been doing. You know, you could take it back to like the Michael Vick story. Yeah. You know, here's my homies. Like, yeah, I'll rent in my house. You know, they can stay in my house. Next thing you know, they're doing fucking dog fights in the house.
Come on,
I go to prison. I go bankrupt. I lose my NFL contract because they're just doing regular hood shit.
Yeah.
But they're not realizing that the superstar is the one that's going to catch all the flack. And then a lot of times, all the knuckleheads end up turning against the fucking guy.
Because they don't have the money. They like, oh, well. And that's what I feel like with they don't have the money to fight the case. Put it on the big guy.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Let's all tell on, oh, yeah, he knew, he did this. He told us to do it. Da, da, da.
Right.
Because they don't have the money to get the right representation in order to beat it. But this is what motherfuckers got to understand.
Yeah.
Just shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and you're letting everyone use your tag, your YSL affiliation and so forth.
Yeah, but you not at this point.
You
it's
are
like,
and you're
how
not.
can you control a motherfucker?
Nah,
like,
I feel you.
It's so many fucking Bricc Babies and this, that on Instagram. You can't control that. Like,
I get it, man. It's a mess.
Like Kill Squad. There's a million people, not a million, but there's a gang of people online banging Kill Squad now. Since I came out with my little following, the name of my following is Kill Squad. So it's like, let somebody go with the flower mask and go kill somebody in the Kill Squad mask right now. Am I the one to blame? If they tag and Kill Squad on all they posts and all that, and I ain't never met them. Guaranteed that it's people on that case that Slime ain't never met.
Now listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to give everyone some OG advice as someone who has seen this happen over and over and interviewed the guys that this has happened to and had serious conversations with them. At the point that you really start getting on and you have a real career, only have people around you that have actual real jobs. Okay? Don't just have your friends around you because it looks more impressive when y'all roll in 20, 30 deep.
Because you can have security that looks even more...
Listen, I hire real security.
Exactly.
LAPD, NYPD, licensed carriers, whatever else.
Oh, that's your motherfucking clique, huh?
Yeah, it is.
NYPD,
It is.
LAPD.
That's my clique. When I'm in New York, one of my main guys is active NYPD.
Yeah. Oh, no, it makes sense. I just was
Active
rapping the song.
NYPD. And he told me, the last time I was out there, he's like, I don't know if you know this, but NYPD is the biggest police force in the world.
Yeah.
Who's going to go up against NYPD?
Oh, they the biggest
Nobody.
gang. They gang banging now. Look.
Nobody. They got surface-to-air missiles. They got tanks.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, for
Whatever
sure.
weapons y'all got, they got 100 times more than that.
Yeah, for
You know what I'm
sure.
saying?
They got missiles.
If you have, a manager, get a real manager. One that actually knows how to manage. Not your friend who you grew up with that's going to be scamming on the side and whatever else. If you have assistants, get a real assistant who actually has experience being an executive assistant. Don't just bring in all your friends and expect them to act like business people when they don't have business backgrounds.
Yeah, for
Keep
sure.
a tight circle with a few people. You don't see Jay-Z rolling in 20 deep. You don't see people like this, of that level, having a bunch of guys that are out there causing all types of problems. Tony Yayo talked about it, how a broken jaw will get you 50,000 if you're, associated with 50. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
One of
yeah,
50's
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
someone acts stupid, one of 50's guys breaks the jaw, 50 got to pay 50,000.
Yeah.
That's just normal.
To his boy.
Well, to the person who's suing.
Oh, wow.
To the person who got their jaw broke.
Yeah, nah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're gonna get lawsuits, you're gonna get sued. From my experience being in G-Unit, niggas got their jaws broke and they wanted 50,000.
Yeah.
Niggas would talk tough, gee, you not, all this shit. Yeah, yo, you a bitch. Nigga get their jaw broke, they right in court, and they like, I'm not going to work, I need 50 to 100,000.
Right.
A broken jaw usually costs you that.
Yeah.
50 to 100,000.
Diddy was paying people off the same way, according to Roger Bonds.
What do you think? When the lawsuits come, yo, G-Unit not outside. G-Unit had the most lawsuits probably in hip-hop history of beating niggas' asses. So that way, if I beat a nigga ass over here, a nigga will say, you know what, I want to sue you and 50.
Of course.
He not just want to sue me, bitch. You want to sue
The
me
guy with the money.
and 50.
Yeah. When you surround yourself with people who really shouldn't be there, this is what causes 99% of the problems.
100%.
And you're the one that's going to have to foot the bill. You're the one that may end up going to prison because they're all going to snitch on you.
100%.
Just run it like a real fucking business and you won't have the problems that you see that we've been talking about for the last couple hours.
You need to teach a instructional course online. You need to sell the course of how to be a rapper and not go back to jail once you make it there.
Exactly.
Because it's like, you watch time and time again, it's a setup. They gonna give you the M's. And then you gonna give your homeboys like 30,000. You gonna give your homeboy a dub to get off his feet. 50, 100. It depends on how much you love him, right? Which is very bad. That's terrible.
They're gonna run through that money.
That's what I'm saying.
They're gonna want more.
Exactly.
And then when you don't give it to them, then you're the bad guy.
No, say you give it to somebody who's not gonna run through the money, and he gonna run it up off of that, and you are the one that gave him 100,000 to go get these pounds and all them bricks and all that. Now he sets up, and he got it booming.
Yeah.
But now when the people come, the original installment came from.
Yeah. Where'd you get the money?
It's RICO time, baby.
Exactly.
They setting you up for a RICO every time. So it's like, if you can't employ your friends, you have to go ahead and let them go ahead and explore life. If they can't do anything, if they're not gonna go learn a trade to be up under you, a trade to be up under you, and not management, and not where they playing point guard, but like if they not gonna go pick up a camera, if they not gonna go learn how to be a road manager, learn how to book the venues, learn how to do like certain stuff where they can coexist with you while you make it to the top, you kind of got to kick them off. You kind of got to kick them off because they setting us up for the RICO. There's no taking care of the hood. Anytime that you go back and give back to the hood, they're making it illegal for us to do that.
Yeah.
It's like, you don't give a fuck what he do with this 100. You just giving it to him. But when they write it up, you gave them the initial installment to go do your thing.
Yeah, and you see this story time and time again.
Yeah.
Murder Inc.
Exactly.
luckily beat the feds, but in the process of beating the feds, they lost the whole thing.
Yeah, they lost
the whole company. They lost their Def Jam deal. They lost their offices. Offices were raided. You know, I remember when all this was happening. Universal, with Def Jam inside of Universal, was sharing a building with Microsoft. You think Bill Gates wanted people running up in one of his buildings and the feds coming in? Nah, they say get the hell out of our building. We're not. You know, we're trying to do regular ass.
Yeah, but then you got
business here.
Then you guys is on Epstein's list though.
Yeah, there's that too.
You get what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, it's
like
all dirty.
It's double jeopardy. It's like
it's all dirty,
two-sided
man.
knife.
Well, Bricc Baby, man, this is a long time coming. I'm glad this finally happened. Man, I've been watching you for a while, and you know, so sometimes it's like, you know, I sort of don't reach out to certain people because I know that they work with people that I'm cool with.
Yeah.
You know, so even when this happened, I don't know if you know, but the first thing I did was I went to Adam and I said, hey, I was thinking about interviewing Bricc Baby. Are you cool with that?
Yeah.
And he said, yeah, hell yeah. He would love that. And I'm like, okay, cool.
Yeah.
You know, not to say, I did the same thing with Whack 100.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and it's not that like, I think that I need permission from somebody, but it's just a respect thing.
It's a proper thing to do.
It's a respect thing because me and Adam are actually friends in real life.
No, for sure.
You know what I'm saying?
I know, I'm going to tell you off camera how I know, but I definitely seen him defend you to the fullest a million times.
Yeah, I've heard it. I've heard it in interviews, man.
Yeah, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Adam, I think that I know anybody around he wouldn't mind, but I think he really wants to see me grow and flourish in this area.
Yeah.
Like, unlike the people that were before me and him was like actually friends. Like, you get what I'm saying? So anytime something like this comes across my plate, I actually ask him too now. Now that I'm in the space, I'll be like, hey, what if I go mess with Cam Capone? You straight with that? Like, you know what I'm saying? Because it's all like, Adam did believe in me fully first, so it's always a good thing to go that way.
Dope.
But you know.
That's what it is, man. Bricc Baby. Until next time.
Come on, man. Don't be late.